So man, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Good. How's your weekend?
Good. What did I do this weekend? I think I just worked. Yeah.
It's good show. That sounds good.
Yeah. How about you guys? How's your weekends going?
I've been sick. I'm still like trying to get over it. So I
Yeah.
just I feel like it's so weird. It's like I'm not like super sick, but I feel like this weird nauseous type of feeling that you
I
get
know.
and it's like so it's like I look completely fine. I feel completely fine, but then if I move too fast, I know I'm gonna throw up. So
That's crazy. I feel like this like twice this happened to you this year.
three three times I've been sick this year. And it doesn't happen. Like I got sick, I think in like February or like January, and then again in like I remember getting sick around January, and then I got sick a few months after that. That never happens to me. I get sick like once a year.
Are you pregnant or
Huh?
are you pregnant or something? Or
Right? I think so. Something weird's going on.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
that is crazy. I feel like especially when you have a lot of stuff going on, like I almost feel like the body never like has time to get sick. I don't know if you like have experienced that before. Or like when you're like very anxious to get back to the gym and it's like you heal faster. I thought that would be something similar that'd be going on with you. So I'm surprised like this often.
Like you're saying that if you know you have to get some shit done, your body doesn't like let you get sick. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, it almost like just heals faster.
It's interesting. Huh. No, I think so. I mean, I know what you mean in terms of that. Um, I don't know. I just think I've had a bad streak this past
Yeah.
year. Some weird shit's going on, I swear.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people are getting sick too. So I mean it's not just you. I feel like even clients I was talking to were getting sick. So
Yeah. So, oh well.
yeah.
Mason, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on? Everyone's getting sick. What's going on? Jeez.
Right? Are you sick?
No, I told you, like, I have this weird, like, sinusy thing. Why? Can you, like, hear it?
Oh shit. You didn't have this last week.
No, I told you about it.
You had you last week you talked about how you had like these weird rashes. You didn't mention
Yeah,
anything.
I still have that too. It's bad. I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm trying my best. It's just not working out.
Somebody watches this replay in like the first 5 minutes talking about.
Yeah, they always think I'm so weird. I really hope they don't watch this, think I'm weird.
Anyways, we'll go ahead get started. I think it'll be a smaller group is kind of what it's sounding like. Um, Adam and Tony and Camilo not being here. Um, so yeah, man, what's going on with you, Aman?
Let me see. So just some overall updates. I am going to be launching that new clients campaign soon. Um, and then I actually want to send a blast out to her old leads. So she has like about 1,000 old leads from her last marketing guy. So I was just gonna send a blast out with like the current offer that we're gonna do and then see if I can get any of them on the phone. I'm not really sure what's the best like procedure for that. I was just gonna I think I have something like written out and then maybe send like a photo there and then maybe just see if I can either just call them if they reply why, like reply yes to the offer. Um, or yeah, kind of like that. And then um one of the clients I got like a while back, not a while back, but like a few months ago, they were you didn't have access to their thing, but that was the one I was having a lot. That was the reason why I'm gonna hop on the calls with this other client because they kept saying like, yeah, the $97 like the patients or whatever are too, like they just wanted the offer, and then we tried doing the 351 and they weren't getting any like engagement after people were opting in and stuff. So, we're gonna switch it to the landing page funnel. Just needed them to confirm the offers, and then they were basically like, yeah, we don't want to move forward. I'm like, okay. So I like was trying to ask like more questions and stuff, but luckily they didn't ask for any kind of like they didn't mention anything about like any guarantee or anything like that. But that was also the one that was like a very new med spa. Um, so I think that's kind of why we kind of were trying to push for more of like a 247 because some people it's a little bit harder to do like the 97, but yeah, so that one today, like maybe like 2 hours ago, I lost that one, but we ended on good terms, so it was anything like awkward, luckily. Um, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is just like getting on calls for my new client. I just need her to update the payment method and then just kind of figure out how I want to do a blast for her old leads. So we're also gonna do a blast for her new leads. Which I guess if you want to update on that, I gave her the because she wanted to do it quickly. She had Vagaro, which she can send out email blasts and SMS blasts. And I gave her the template. When she sent it out, for some reason she can't see the replies on those. It's almost like a one-way sort of thing. But she did do an email blast with that same offer, and she was able to collect like 4K upfront from the email blast. So I'm gonna redo the SMS blast, but from Go High Level. But at least she was able to cover a marketing campaign, and she was very happy about that. Um, that was for semaglutide. So yeah, I think that was mostly kind of up to date on everything.
Okay. So last offer to this person, she's done an email blast, and we had the situation we had with the churn. I'd love to like go deeper into these just to kind of like learn a little bit more of what's going on. Then maybe there's some suggestions I can make, but like, do you have specific questions that you wanted to go into, or like, do you feel like there's like a problem that, hey, look, I think there might be a problem here. Let's try to solve it.
Um, I would say the only thing is just like when like I don't know how effective doing an SMS blast will be to her old leads. So most of these leads did not become patients. This was from her last marketing campaign. But I figure if she has like 1,000, I can maybe get some of them booked in, but they're probably not as like warm or ready to book as like her existing patients who know, like, and trust her, right? So I'm wondering what's the best way. Like, should I text them? Because obviously if I send it all at once and I get like say 9 Ys, right, where they all say yes, and then do I if I call one of them and I have the script and it's say it'll take like 5 to 8 minutes, should I try to like book that call through text, or should I just try like calling one at a time, and then because again I don't know if that 5 minute window, if I don't get to all of them on time, like should I at least reply to them quickly so that I can schedule out a call?
Okay.
Almost like treating it like if they're a lead from a Facebook, since they're not a real patient yet.
Mhm. Um, I have an idea, but before I kind of get into it, like for example, one of the ideas that come to me is like, would you like the offer? And then if they reply, then you set up some kind of automation to say, perfect, is there a good time for us to reach out to you for all the details? And so
Yeah,
what that does, that buys you some time.
right. That's what I was thinking.
So it's
Like
like what you
good
do.
time today or tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was
so I
thinking.
think we're on the same page in terms of like segment it out. And I would start, so you're saying old leads and old customers or just old leads?
Just old leads. I'm waiting for her to send her old customer, not her old customer, existing customer list, so that I have a separate blast. So the reason I'm separating it out is one is just like the Facebook offer that's gonna go to new, on the Facebook. So I'm gonna just send that to old leads. But then the new patient offer, because they're a little bit warmer, and just the way I saw like, Great into it, he basically does it where he'll get them in for a free discovery session and then they'll leave with like a free bonus. So in this case, it's gonna be like a $200 face contouring thing, but they get it for free if they just show up to the discovery session for the semaglutide, right? So she had like we did this offer, she did through email on Vagaro, and she got like 4 people come in. One person did like a high ticket package, the other two just started with like the per month or whatever it is. Um so
Were,
yeah,
were these patients or leads?
those
These
are
both.
patients.
Okay, so she basically blasted out an email to patients, and then from that she recouped another 4K.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people who apparently were replying through messages, but because she couldn't see those messages, basically a few of the people who replied Y, didn't hear back. They called her and they're like, hey, like, I replied Y to the thing, but I didn't get any message. So I'm gonna resend it to Go High Level where I can actually and just let them know, like, hey, due to technical issues, we had to send out this message again. Um, so yeah, hopefully get some people from there. So there's like old leads, current patients, and then the new campaign.
Okay. So old leads, new customers, old customer. I'm kind of just like dividing them, just like people that have been with her for a long time. And then you're saying like basically new leads. So that's like the segment. Okay. So like first of all, like what we discussed, does that like kind of sort of answer your question or no?
Yeah, yeah, I think I can make a quick automation that's like, great, are you available today or tomorrow to get on a quick call? And then I can take over manually from there.
Okay. And and again, I'm right now I'm just like I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong or right. I'm just trying to understand what's going
Yeah.
on. So what makes you want to do this? Is this something that she recommended? Is this something that you're going to do? And why are you doing? What's the problem that you're trying to solve by doing this?
I mean, one of her big like frustrations with the last guy was that they just wasn't doing, there was no like strategy in place for like all leads. So she just like sent me the list of leads. So I was just like, yeah, we can do an SMS blast out to them. And again, just to see if I can like get on some calls initially and, get some people booked. And just essentially see them as like free leads. So might as well see if I can, get some practice getting on phone calls with them. Um, but yeah,
So
I guess
basically,
the reason.
just some practice warming up, and if there's some money that you can recoup, why not? Like that's kind of the mindset.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What does this have to do with like how you started the sentence off, which was, hey, the old agency didn't really have a strategy? Or do you feel
I
like
mean,
it's
so
like what
yeah,
would
he would basically like, he ran all these campaigns and his cost per leads are terrible and like, didn't really have any like AI or way for her to like have like a script or anything. So I think it was just more like he would just put up a campaign and then they would just get like initial first text message. But when we crunched in the numbers, like for at least the semaglutide, she thought she was making a lot more from those campaigns, but it was only like 1% out of like all the leads that came from there. Um, so I guess there's not really anything like wrong with it. Like he still got her those leads, but I figured, if she did send them and there's like 1,000 of them, then, maybe a few of them will take it up if she's doing like a better offer. Um, I think before, like even for semaglutide, it was just like skinny shot campaign, but there was no like price on it. Right. So at least now we have like a first patient incentive and maybe they'll help like get people booked.
yeah. So what do you think the funnel is going to look like? You're going to send a message, hey, we have this offer, price point, whatever it is. Are you interested? They say, yeah, I know. Then you have a response like, great, what's a good time to have a conversation? Then you're going to follow up with them. And then what's the next move?
So I did work with her on getting like the information I need for the semaglutide, what the package is. I basically have my script ready. I kind of ask more about credentials on her, like any kind of success stories, just, kind of all this on hand so that I can like share it. And I have access to her Vagaro so I can get people booked in. So I guess from there, it's really just getting on a call with them, practicing, going through trying to get them booked in, and then just try to get like my initial first few people booked in so I can see that this works. And again, maybe from the old leads, I don't know how responsive they will be. But either way, whether it's from there, whether it's from the new campaign, ultimate goal is just to start learning more about how to like close people through for med spas.
So you're gonna, so that's ultimately what I was kind of getting as like, okay, so the lead responds, and then that what I'm wondering is like, what's next in the funnel? So next in the funnel is gonna be that conversation, collecting deposit to get them in, or like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the funnel
Yeah,
look like?
so I'll get them on the phone from there, and then basically we'll try to ask some questions to really like make them emotional, get them to, ask about what they're looking for, and then sell like, what the offer is, what they'll get out of the consultation, collect the deposit, book the appointment, and then from there just try to get booked appointments with collected deposits. It's gonna be the next step. They'll come in for like a $97 first shot. So they'll be eligible for a $97 version of it versus like the $135 version of the shot. And then she'll basically run her consultations where, she'll offer like the high ticket service. So she has a 4-month package, and if they do that, they get a free body contouring session with that. Which I think could be stronger, but I just want to get them through the door first and then see how that goes.
A few things I could see. So with, I'll tell you in my experience, when you try to follow with old leads, your conversion is way lower for sure.
Yeah,
And so
sure.
if you're going to try to step into their shoes, they're going to be like, who the heck is this guy hitting me up? So
Right.
we just have to hope and pray that it's enough that they're like, I get that all the time. I get a text. I'm like, I don't fucking know who the fuck this. It's like I probably signed up for something like months ago, years ago. Um, and so, let's see if you can get somebody to respond. If you can get them to respond, because your offer has to be that good, like free video commercial has to be a crazy great offer. Sounds like that's what you're working on. Um, and I think that once you hop on a call, you have to, I think the script has to be something where you address how they know the business owner. I think
Okay.
that's a big part of it. So you can't just like say, hey, so I'm glad to hear it. You have to basically say, hey, look, according to our system here, the reason we reached out to you is because we saw that you opted into something on July 1st, da 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 date. On that date, back then, were you looking for a weight loss solution? If so, like what all did you try leading up until then? Okay, what have you done since then? Have you found a solution? Have you been going to the gym? Right? See how I'm doing that? Like the script has to be tailored to them because they opted in a while ago.
Okay, so I really like that. The only thing is the 1,000 leads is also from like other services as well.
Okay.
I feel like I should give them that context and be like, but it seems like you're also open, also interested in this salute or in this thing.
Can you see what campaign they came from, what offer they came from?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can, there you go, just slightly make a slight tweak, say, hey, so the reason I was reaching out is because I saw that you opt in for this offer of body sculpting back in November, whatever. That's a solution that we had for weight loss. This is a much more powerful one. And so that's why maybe I'm wondering if this is what you respond to. Are you familiar with this? Do you understand the difference between this and body coverage? So again, you just have to
Yeah.
massage it so that it's not like completely foreign to them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and if they did for like a Botox or like laser hair removal or something, I can just mention that like, hey, you opted in on this date for laser hair removal. We want to reach out about this. Like, is that something I can do or
You can, but you have to make it make sense. Like there has to be fluidity in there. So, for example, if somebody says Botox, then you have to somehow, and I don't have something off the top of my dome. You have to think about it for a second. Maybe I'll try to pull something out. But it's like, hey, we saw you opt in for Botox, and so that's why we wanted to reach out to you regarding this because both of these are very aesthetic things. One focuses on the face, and then the other focuses on making the body look good. And on top of that, when the body looks good, you lose the fat, it makes the face pop a little bit more. So we thought this would be a good fit for you. See how I'm kind of tying it. I'm completely bullshitting here, but like it
yeah,
ties
yeah,
to,
yeah.
and so you have to kind of do that as well. Um, you have to kind of figure out a way to tie it together. And I think that after you do a few reps, you'll kind
Yeah.
of like how to match it up.
Okay, got it.
Um, and then so have that conversation. Once they have a conversation with her, do you know what her sales script looks like by any chance, or do you have any like thing for her in terms of converting that over? Because I think it'd be great to get them in through the door, but then now we're leaving a lot to chance to see what she's going to be doing.
Yeah, I don't have that script or like a recording of that necessarily. I know she does sell like a lot of like 4K packages or whatever it is, or 2K or something. But I also know those are existing patients or like referrals. So of course it's gonna be way different than, someone who's brand new and she has to do a proper like, educational like demo type consultation. So I don't know. I think it's just more of like wanted to get people through the door and then based on her feedback, be able to provide her with like a consultation or something.
Do you have do you have a script in place to sell this as a high ticket thing or no?
Mm,
Like, do
I
you have
don't,
something from Grayson who like knows how to convert this from like low ticket to high ticket, or do you have any resource, or like if not, that's cool, and that means we have to kind of rely on her and see what she does, and then maybe provide feedback somehow. I don't know that she's gonna record any calls or anything, but like we're kind of like that's kind of what we have to do.
yeah, I know he has like a framework for running holding consultations that I got like obviously too. So it's like, and then like how he does it is like he does like um he asks a bunch of questions, gets to the root of the problem, he educates them, and then the education is like where, it's like the demo. So he has like these demo slides, but it's like the ones I've saw was like the skin, like the three areas of the skin. So obviously for this one, it wouldn't really make sense. But it does have like a lot of before and afters on those slides. So I have like the framework and like an overall like how he does his like script for his consultations, but not specifically for the semaglutide.
So this is all theory. Again, let's say they come in, we are able to tie it back together. Hey, Botox and this. I don't know if you're going to record your calls, put them in there. She probably is not going to review your 20-minute call, 15-minute call. But if you can, like, I don't know if there's a way for you to like leave notes within the CRM and say, hey, this person XYZ, these are the pain points. Here's exactly how you want to sell them. And you provide that over to the business owner and they kind of have those footnotes to help them sell.
In terms of like phone calls.
So your phone call, let's say again, you have a phone call with Jane Doe and she opted in for some weight loss thing 6 months ago, and then you're able to get her in through the door now, and you understand that she's tried dieting and this and that and this and that and has never worked. So now in your notes, you go into say, hey, this is why they're coming in because they tried all these different things. So you
Oh,
really
right.
want to aggravate this pain point when she comes inside.
Yeah,
Now you're
yeah.
basically giving a layup to the business owner.
Yeah, I can put that inside the booking notes. So when I book in Vergara, I can add that in there. And that would definitely be good for her to know. Like I think anybody who takes on the call should be leaving notes for whoever is going to be taking over it. Um,
If you do you have a way of recording her sales calls or no? Is she going to record them or no? Sales
uh,
meeting console. Is there any way to record anything or no?
not that I know of yet. Again, like for me, I think the biggest bottleneck has just been getting like a good, like knowing what percentage should be like leads to calls or like leads to bookings and stuff. So kind of a lot of my attention has been like, okay, how do I get these people in? Um, just because she seemed to have a good like thing going in terms of her consultations. But that being said, yeah, I don't like the only person who's ever like kind of recorded a kind of consultation call has been like Dr. Jane, and that's just because it was a virtual consultation. But I don't know how like a med spa would do it if they like
No, because they're going to be all in person, right?
they're gonna
Correct.
be in person, yeah. But I know for the semaglutide, virtual consultations are possible. So maybe that's something like, hey, for this campaign, because it's structured a certain way, I think we should set up a virtual, which makes it a higher percentage to show up rate or something like that, right?
So,
Um,
so we should keep that in our back pocket then.
yeah,
Because that's where I'm seeing like right now we just uncovered a lot of stuff. Like we went into so many devils in the details by just literally discussing like, hey, if they come from an old campaign, you have to mix it up and tie it together. Like that's a such a big detail to making this work. And so if we don't know that on the sales call, man, like it's a big
right,
problem. You know what I mean? Like these things matter a lot.
right.
Um, so let's play it by ear. Let's see how things go with you. Let's just one bottleneck at a time. But I
Yeah,
would say it's potentially worth it to do these Zoom calls. To even just like see what she's doing, to even just like see what she's doing. And then from there, like maybe we notice some big red flags, or maybe we learn some really cool things that she's doing that we can apply. Um,
I believe she's had virtual calls before, so what I'll do is next time I want to check-in call with her, I'm gonna ask if one, if she has any recordings, or two, if she can get a recording, so I can see how her current consultation process is going.
cool, man. So that's old leads, and then it sounds like you're gonna work the new customers as well. Um,
For her existing customers, I am kind of like because that's just like a quick blast. I have an automation set up where it'll push them to a phone call. I did specifically have her gonna take because she's already like knows them and stuff. So it's for them it's gonna be a lot easier. She doesn't have to necessarily like do a new patient script. I think like she'll be able to get them on a call, let them know what the offer is, and then a lot of them are just gonna take it up, kind of like how it was from the email. Um, so yeah, because I think just because I think that's gonna add a lot. If I try to close like getting her existing patients.
I,
Um,
my theory is that you're not gonna have. I don't want to be pessimistic. You're not gonna have a lot of luck with this. I don't think.
yeah, I mean the old leads was just there just to
So, so if your goal is to practice, then these are your people. So when you say you're gonna pass it on to them, you're passing off the greatest opportunity to them if you want to learn.
Right.
So even though it's a lot, these are where you actually get the reps in, not these, most likely. These are going to be a very big challenge. It's going to be like me trying to sell somebody that's broke, that's not interested, that's I'm pulling a two, like it's very hard. Versus these people are going to be a lot easier to sell, um, in my opinion. I'm not saying to do it. I'm just giving the reality. Like, and
Uh,
you're passing off to her, so you're not really learning what she's doing unless you get her to record and all that stuff.
right. Um, I know like if she does call from Go High Level, it'll record it. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, let me see what I said to her last about because I might have mentioned about um dang, I wish I did because I almost put in like I almost mentioned to her saying like, hey, just a heads up, like old leads usually have a very low conversions. I did wish I ended up sending that, but I didn't want to like, I don't know, make it like a negative thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure she'd be happy with me taking over the new customers.
Wait, okay, let me ask you this. I don't hear what I'm not saying, and I don't want it to be one of those things where it's like, fuck, I gotta do this extra work. My
Right.
like, and I can kind of sense that it's like, oh shit, like I wasn't thinking about this, or there's another way to be thinking about this, or whatever. So I guess like my question to you is like, what is the issue or the bottleneck of this? I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying like, what is the issue? What could potential issues be of doing this? Is it the time issue, time
I
commitment?
don't think it's more of the time issue. I think it's like I guess nerves because they kind of know the Mets ball well, right? And so I guess I don't want to like say something where it's like I can possibly
What?
sabotage a relationship or something, you know, versus like a new lead. It's kind of like I have that room to practice, if that makes sense. Just because I haven't like booked people in before, or like I don't want to like
Mhm.
do something wrong where it kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. I guess that's maybe a passive,
Yeah.
like a good way of thinking.
That's the mental block that you have. Okay. So my suggestion would be this. If that is a true mental block, my suggestion would be to put in the reps here, get the nerves out of the way here, and then move on to these.
Okay.
If that
Yeah.
is a mental block.
Yeah.
Do this, shit the bed, screw things up, and then then move on to these guys where it really counts. That's what I would do if I were you.
Okay. I know also for grade and like his
And
as
you
class,
you can also always just like phrase it and frame it as like, hey, I'm with the med spa.
right.
Right. So they won't
Yeah.
know any.
Yeah. They could just be like, hey, your front guy is goofy or whatever.
Yeah.
Um for yeah, I know like he has a separate blast or like separate script for that where it's not so like in depth, but I assume I should like on the call at least try to get them emotional regardless, even if they're ready to just book in. Um and just see like yeah like what made you interested in taking up this
And
semi
you can frame it in a way where it's not awkward. You say, "Hey, look, my name is so and so. I've been with the clinic for about a year, and I know that you've probably worked directly with XYZ name, but I just want to ask you a few questions. I apologize if it feels repetitive. I just want to make sure that I clearly understand because it's a very important procedure and there are hormones and XYZ involved." Boom. Now you give yourself permission to ask questions
okay,
and run
right.
through and get them emotional, and it doesn't matter. I don't think it does matter.
Yeah,
Of course, you should be able to also like, as you know, sense like when they're ready to just like put the card details and you should know when to just shut up and just be like, okay, cool, they're coming in.
right.
But the reason I'm just saying is like I think there's a lot of value in being in the trenches and the weeds. Like it'll serve you at a very high level by doing that. Like literally what we just said right now, like figuring out that little script of here's how to introduce yourself so that you have the permission to go and ask questions that will get them emotional.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I like that.
so okay, so old leads, new customers, and then same thing with the email. Again, if I were you, I would just do it one at a time. Take your time with it, man. Take your time with it. Don't stress. Um, I always hate it when I say don't stress. There's always stress to everything.
Sure. That's
But
fine. Yeah.
but like like take your time with this so that you can learn and be like, okay, what lesson am I learning here, and how am I getting better and better at this? And then before you know it, dude, we might have like a crazy, really good script. And then when we have that script dialed in, now when it comes to ads, okay, it's a walk in the park, right? Or
Right.
not maybe a walk in the park, but it's a lot easier than us, throwing stuff against the wall and having no clue what we're doing here.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, I think it's just also me just getting my own way just because it involves me like booking for them and stuff. And but I feel like if VAs are doing it, then what,
Yeah.
like
If you got Philippines VAs doing it, I think you'll be
yeah, yeah. So
you're gonna be Gucci, bro.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Uh, I think this can really change up a lot of things, especially because she's very like hands-on. So if I can really get more consultation stuff from her and like work closely with her, so she that dials that in, then then it's almost like okay, I have an A through Z plan in terms of the semaglutide, right? And then we can do that for maybe I with her if she's good and she's like actually like responsive and she's doing what I tell her, then we could do that with more campaigns, and then I'll kind of have like an A through Z for like Botox and for this, and I can drill my clients harder so I don't have to deal with like what happened today with CY Aesthetic, where they don't really understand why we're doing campaigns as much as I try to drill in like it's a numbers game and stuff.
Mhm. Also, one thing you can do. I was thinking about this entire funnel like this past whole week. I was like just sitting. I was like, what is it gonna look like? What's it gonna look? And I was literally thinking, you guys are gonna laugh. I was literally thinking to myself, what if I record myself in a white coat and say, my name is Dr. Aman. I did a whole fucking VSL pitch and I just like gave it to Aman. And Aman could like just send that to everybody. I'm not even joking. Like I'm so serious when I say
Yeah.
this. Um, so one thing you should do maybe is consider like the conversation. Be like, hey, also, we have some videos and resources. That's something you'd be interested in, or do you feel like you have a good understanding of this? And see how many people you can get to bite. And if you have a good number of people, I would say like, let's say out of 10 people, 7 out of 10 are saying, oh, I want more resources or tell me more. That means that we could probably add a VSL to the funnel overall to increase conversion, increase everything. I think it could actually be a really good thing.
This is for leads.
This is for the entire machine for um, the semi-glutide offer.
Semi-glutide offer. So sorry, what was the additional information for? Like, is that on the ad or is that?
So let's say, for example, you're flying with a lead, phone call, text, they get back to you, phone call, great, taking a deposit, got it. Also, before you come in, is there
Oh,
something like, do you want additional information? Or you can position two different ways. One way is, hey, look, would you like the additional information? Option two is, hey, we do require this, whether you watch it right now or you watch when you hop inside, whether it is something that we require because it is a serious procedure.
right.
And then we can see how many people are watching that and what percentage of those people are going to actually buy the high ticket thing. Based off of my experience, the more material you can watch, get somebody to watch, the higher likelihood is that they're going to buy the high ticket stuff. Always. It's
Got it.
never not been correct.
Okay, got it.
Whenever people don't watch my course material before they hop on a call with me, they never join the program. Every single time. Not
Okay.
99 every time.
Okay, I really like that because I mean that's probably the biggest thing for a lot of med spas is that they'll get people come in, they watch like one thing, but they watch like material beforehand, they're educated, they kind of have more of idea what to expect, then they'll be more in like a mode to like buy higher ticket stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
Right now, all I have for that may be really useful is she sent me a testimonial, like where she recorded an interview with the person who went through the semaglutide process and lost like 40 pounds. So, maybe I could ask them permission for me to send that testimonial, at least like in the beginning, and see if that does anything.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't even don't even worry about the con. We're just bringing one bottleneck at a time. And
Sure.
so what I'm just saying is like if you can get people to say yeah to that thing, then if out of 10 people, 7 people are saying like, yeah, of course I want to buy. And you should be able to tell by the way they talk. If 7 out of 10 people are saying, yeah, I want this thing, or please send me more information, or like, no, that's not like you'll know if you say, hey, this is a requirement, and somebody might respond like, no, please watch. I would love to watch. I need to watch it. That right away tells you like it doesn't feel like homework to them. So that's a good sign. It's like from there, it's like, hey, Kushik, dude, out of the 10 people I spoke to, man, like 7 out of them want to say, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. Let's send something over and then maybe we'll record a VSL down the road. Like that's
Okay.
how I think things through.
Okay, cool.
Um, so um other thoughts, other things?
No, I mean that's mainly it. So yeah, I mean I'll definitely take on the customer list and be able to book those people in. I think as far as that goes, I think the other things I'd mentioned on the Slack was like if I should start. if I should pay for like the highest go high level account so I can start like learning how to like whitelist ads and any new people I take on, I can, possibly get. Okay, I see that he sent me that. Or no, was that me? Um, yeah, it was. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll look into that because I feel like there's a lot of money on the table by not getting, my like if the client today decided they want to not work with me, but then kept running ads, then and the SMS, you know, uh tends to add up. So this month was like 135 in SMS and calls total versus I can first like on the high level thing, I can charge them for that, but not on the current plan that I'm at.
So how many clients do you have right now?
Um, Active clients, I'd say for
Full closed, active now, churned. Okay, so total close, how many would you say you've closed total? Approximately.
here, can I actually pull up my numbers? Maybe easier. Um, oh wait, here we go. Let's say seven.
Okay.
I feel like
And
it
then
was seven.
and then active now.
Um, Active now, I have about, let's see, three, let's say like three. I think Andy Matspot had to shut her ads off. So I'd say like three like actual active.
So that means four churn. So out of these four that have churn, do you feel like they're all using Go High Level or no?
Um, let's see, Dr. Jane did. Um, I think Naida probably won't. Um, Trying to see if anyone. CY Aesthetics, Premiere. Yeah, I would say the ones that churn maybe aren't even running ads right now. Um, so
Hmm.
yeah, except for yeah. So I mean, definitely like yeah, I wouldn't even know if like Dr. Jane is because he's doing like WhatsApp. Um,
So how much could you make from like whatever you would charge for like three people? Like what would that be like $300?
I
It would make
think so. I think I can charge him like a $97 fee.
okay. Um, I think it adds up. I don't, and this is me, I don't know enough about this, but like I don't know what the amount of customer support or service would be for you to handle this. Like for me, I will tell you, I love Mason to death. This guy's here for go high level. That's his primary thing. He's the go high level god, right? That's why he's here. And so it's like it's a resource that I have to invest into for my business for you guys for go high level, right? Um,
Right.
and so the question becomes, like I don't know what the cost would be in case there's any issues with that. I don't even do any white labeling stuff. So I don't
Right.
know if it's worth it right now.
I guess it would probably make more sense if I switched to Done With You, because then I can literally write out everything on how to like set up the templates and I think maybe right now because people are asking me a lot of questions about automations and stuff, then yeah, maybe it won't be worth it. Um
I guess
ver-
what's the problem that you're trying to solve for? Like what's the issue other than like, hey, I feel like I'm leaving money on the table.
I think mainly that, and then two, I can't like I'll mostly have to be the one that has to pay for the SMS stuff every month, which I mean, I guess right now it's kind of paid off if they're just paying for my service in general. I could just, as long as I see that's like included with that, but I just didn't know if it was gonna be like, okay, maybe I need to start like with the whitelisting one, you can kind of like bill them for the SMS. Versus right now, it's like, I believe that, yeah, I can only get charged for it.
Another thing that we can do, so so I don't like, as I look at these numbers, like $300 a month isn't like chump change, but like, can you just simply close one or two more people to bring that same profit? You probably could, right?
Right.
Like you could probably like make some additional shifts and like you'll probably make more. As opposed to, again, like I'm just thinking about like the downside risk, the additional work and all that stuff that's going to come with this. Um,
Yeah, I
like,
guess the way I saw it is if I'm making a go high
oh,
level for them anyway, and then they'll have their ads forever anyway, then it's like worst case for them. If they leave, then they at least, like I can sell them on the fact that they'll always have it. Plus, if they just happen to pay and it's too much work for them to even like stop the subscription, I'll get paid for that month.
in my experience, because I've been doing this for like, I don't know how many years. We have a decent amount that comes in through ClickFunnels and go out, like pretty decent. Like I would say that's probably our saving grace within this business. Um, and what I've noticed is that anybody that comes to our coaching program, like this program right here, they always use Go High Level, and right. But the moment that they stop the program, everybody stops using Go High Level
Mm.
without a fail. In my experience, every single time. So if the coaching program works for them, they continue to invest in Go High Level. The moment the coaching program doesn't work for them, they don't make it work for them. Well, then they get rid of Go High Level as well. Why would they keep Go High Level? Every single time, it's never not happened.
Right.
So if you are that's what I was asking about churn. So if you're going to churn people, when you say like they might continue, they're probably not going to continue. Like, why would they continue to pay for a software where it's $97 a month, but then you can do all this additional work for them? If they
Right.
get rid of you, they're going to get rid of the software too. And
Right. Okay. Okay.
so
That
it's
gives
like, focus on just like keeping people. Like that's way more important. If you focus on keeping people, then they would technically keep the software. But I don't think that I just don't think that it makes enough. Like it's not something to stress out over, is what I'm saying. Like your time and energy is better spent, way better spent here, way better spent here.
cool. Cool. That makes sense. And then I don't know if I put in
But
one last.
go, but done with you, like in my experience. So for me, we made a lot of sales through, like for example, even our $47 offer, right? Our low ticket offer, people go through it, they buy it because it's cheap. If I don't talk to them, if they don't start going to the course material, they don't even go high level. It's the people that when I was selling the course for $997, those people, because they invested $997, they would actually start the course material, they would actually start go high level or ClickFunnels, and then those are the people that stayed on.
Mm,
The people who stop making money with their agency, none of them have ClickFunnels, any of them. So it's
okay.
like they have to make money from the core thing. If people make money from the core thing, then they continue to use the software. So it's like
Right.
focus on the core thing, and then down the road, maybe it makes sense.
Okay.
Another thing is like you just don't have enough clients anyway. Like when you switch to SaaS, it's 500 bucks a month.
Right.
So unless you're charging them a pretty decent amount, it's like that switch isn't worth it. You know,
Okay.
if anything, you'd be offering more and losing more. So it doesn't make any sense anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. That gave me a lot of clarity because I just kind of felt like in the back of my mind, like, okay, am I wasting opportunity by not doing this? Because I know you mentioned like getting that recurring before. But yeah.
There's a guy, Ravi Abuvala. I think I told you about him many times. He himself built a white label Go High Level because he didn't want to rely on Go High Level's customer support.
Mm,
And so he literally did it because he was worried about their customer support, but he has enough cash flow, he has enough of a team where it actually makes sense. And guess what he just did now? He got rid of the white label and now he's doing regular Go High Level at his level.
oh, okay.
Yeah. He literally did the exact opposite of what you're talking about. And he's got a lot of clients. And the reason he did that is because now he doesn't have to worry about customer service.
Nice. Okay.
So that in itself,
Yeah.
I think it only makes sense if you're, yeah, I think, yeah. So
Okay, cool. And then yeah, I can ask. I see Tony had messaged about the deposit, so I can ask him about that. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty good overall. He said these is converse closing for our clients.
yeah, so he just like tells them, hey, you're not going to be charged or anything like that.
Yeah, unless some sell. Okay. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just hopefully this month I can just get on some more sales calls and I think right now I have a 1 in 4, so it's I guess industry standard.
Your numbers are all good. They're all like normal. Um, I would like maybe not right now on this call, but like if you want to message me, I do want to know like what happened here, like in more detail, and like
Sure.
what the issue is. Like, so they signed for 97, and then was the issue that they were not profitable enough, and then when they went here, they were not profitable enough, and then here they're just like, fuck it, I quit. Like,
Yeah.
what exactly happened? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I can do that. And then hopefully can Dr. Jennifer reached out, so hopefully I can get her on a call and then just get an update because she kind of disappeared on me. But she's still paying the weekly fee, so that subscription is saving grace.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, and then just keep me posted on this. Keep me posted on this. And then I got your last voice note within Slack. I haven't responded to it yet.
Mhm.
So I was planning on responding after today's Zoom call. So I'll probably respond later today, if not tomorrow.
Cool. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, man.
Yeah.
Uh, who do we got next? Um, Jorge, you here? All right, what's going on, brother, man?
Hello, hello.
Chilling, chilling. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you guys?
Chilling, man. Um, so would you want to chop it up about Jorge? Your ad specifically, or what's kind of brewing in your head based off of like our conversation so far?
Yeah, mainly the lead form ads still having the same kind of lead quality. The adjustment that we did for targeting with the ads, with the actual creatives itself, using the owners as like the podcast testimonial style, we did get some actual academy owners, but most of the times they were broke or they basically that's it basically they were just broke, they couldn't afford it, right? People that came through, they're like, oh, I have like 20 students, or I don't have that much to basically spend, or there was some like really niche weird style of martial arts that's like nobody really wants to go there, right? And then the rest of the people, I just had one right now too, just person that thought it was a martial arts academy asking for lessons,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
then either that or they never responded to any of my messages, any of my calls.
Hmm. Um,
And these are
so
all updated.
oh, these are updated now?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Okay. So cost per book. So live discovery calls. So
Oh, that should be 22 instead of 25.
is that right?
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, bro. So your cost per live discovery call is 121 bucks here. And your cost per live discovery call here is 541. You see that? That's what I'm looking at. So so okay, your cost per live discovery call is 541. And you've had 16 of them. Out of these 16, how many would you say is like these are really good people qualified? And I'm just going to kind of show you something here.
I'd say at least half.
So that means that this number, let's just switch it to 8. You see that? Your cost for one good solid conversation, a discovery call, not even a sales call, is $1,000 through that funnel. So that means that if we come in here, it's 100. So that means that you have 5. You can literally have 5. You can literally have 50, and it would be the same. So 50 here is equivalent to 8 here. That's the difference. Does that make sense? You follow me?
Mhm.
Because right now you have 5. So out of these 5, right? Out of these 5 people, how many would you say were like, so you're saying like none of them? You're
None.
saying like none. Okay. Do you think that if we did maybe 30, do you think that if we did maybe 30, you'd have a good one? Or
Yes.
Okay, realistically, right? 30, right?
Yeah,
So
at least for sure.
so if we just do the numbers there, then 30. So out of 30, so out of 30 people that you talk to live, 30 times 121, that's really fucking expensive though. So that would actually work out. So if you had 30 sales call live, 30 live discovery calls, and you paid $121 for every single one of them, that'd be $3,600 for like one qualified discovery call through this, if that's what we stick with. What do you think is realistic? Do you think 30 is realistic? Do you think 25 is realistic? Do you think 10 based off of your experience so far? Or do you just think
Maybe
it's just like
I think,
this funnel
man, I think 30, honestly, because since we started them on June 10th and we made that adjustment, right, for the creatives, we're still getting kind of similar results.
okay. So when did we make those adjustments? Here?
June 10th, right there, yep. On the bottom to the
June
what
24th
says,
or here?
Look all the way down. Yeah.
yeah, to the left of that.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's actually, I mean, my bad. That was those are live discovery calls. So that changes a bit because the people I had live discovery calls with, those were actually the owners of academies, but they were just broke. So I think if I had live discovery calls, honestly, I think the number would be, yeah, like 15, 20. This is just my guess.
So you
For
feel
those
like
15, 20, I feel like somebody's got to be able to actually be qualified.
out of 15 live discovery calls, and not that live discovery calls with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu business owners, you feel like one's going to be solid.
Yeah.
So that means 121 times 15. So it's costing you like $1,815 for like one qualified lead through this funnel. That's what these numbers are telling me, right? So hopefully we're on the same page there. So you're
I get you.
okay, 15. So, and then here you're telling me that half of these are. So you're telling me that it's costing you $1,083 to get a good person here. So $1,083 versus $1,800 here. So technically, this funnel is better. The original funnel is better. If that's what
Mhm.
if that's what you truly believe at your core.
Yeah, and I would say even like of the people that are, I just like I put on the lower end for this funnel as far
For
as the
the
people who are qualified. Yeah, for this funnel, I put on the lower end of people that are qualified.
so you think it's more like maybe like 10?
Yeah,
So then it's like $866 for a qualified person, which I think is like pretty healthy, actually. I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty healthy. Like if you, yeah, I wish, yeah, actually, no, it's a little bit high. Um, go back to what it was, so 16. So the reason I'm like, just the reason my language is the way it is I'm just kind of like stuck on the fact, and maybe I'm wrong here, but like I'm stuck on the fact that Jay said that he was running this funnel, he's having $300 cost per acquisitions. So he's closing deals for $300 versus we are spending 800 to get a qualified person on a sales call. It's a very big difference.
yeah.
Um, okay. So let's do this. Let's just go and put a pause on this then. Like based off of like what you're sharing, let's go and put a pause on this. And let's try to run. My fear is that we're going to increase ad spend here, and then it's just like I don't want things to break. That's my only concern.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Do you know which one the winning creative is here from the
I
lead
can
format?
check. I can check really quick. I have it pulled up here.
Okay.
The winning one that's getting majority is the one with Bernie and Leon. So it's me and the two other owners.
Okay. Do you have a top of funnel only, or do you have a middle of funnel as well? Like a retargeting ad set.
Just top funnel.
Okay, so a few things we can do.
Oh, on that note, I'm filming tomorrow with Adam. We're filming a bunch of content, and we're also filming the podcast testimonial. So that'd be another way.
Sick.
And he's a bigger name in the space, so
That'd be fucking sick. Yeah. Like record, make sure you get a bunch of variations with him for the podcast off. Like the hook of Daniel's video is why it worked. And by the way, Daniel just created another version of that creative. And all he did is he just changed like the font, like the color of the headline, and it performed again and it got his funnel working
nice.
again. So that goes to prove like it was literally the hook and it was like the overall creative. So that part's super
I'll go
important.
over that.
Like I don't know. So make sure you ask that question first of all, like the one that Daniel asked specifically, like that, a few different variations of that.
That's
Which,
his ads is linked in the Slack channel somewhere, right?
yeah. So his Facebook is within the Slack channel. So I think his question was just like, what would you say to other dentists that are interested in work with agencies?
Yeah.
Right. And so you can kind of lead with that. So so what can we do? One thing we can do, how long would it, so if you did shoot that tomorrow, how long would it take you to have that creative like edited?
Man, I could do that like in a day.
Okay. So let's do this then. Step one, what we can do is we can create your warm retargeting funnel today. So after this call or on this call, you can create that. And so you can retarget people that visited, people that watch a certain percentage of your video, people that visit your opt-in page but didn't get to a counter page, people that engage with your Instagram and your Facebook. So these are all different audiences that you can target. That's what I would 100% do within your warm-up funnel, your middle funnel. And we can go in. So you're spending, what are you spending on top of funnel? Like $20 a day, $30 a day?
$20 for both.
So we can do like $5 a day, $5 a day for middle funnel. And we can run that for maybe 1 to 3 days and see how that goes. I don't think it's going to break anything. And then we can go ahead and the next thing I would do is I would test out the Adam ads with the existing testimonial based ads that you have right now. So I think you have like 2 or 3 testimonial based ads. So
yeah.
throw Adams as well. And then I would just see which one performs the best. And most likely it'll be Adams, right? Because of this name.
So just duplicate the ad set and then just throw in Adams in there as well.
Yeah. So duplicate
alongside the other ones, or do I just cut that one off?
No, throw it in with the other ones as well. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
So we'll have one ad set with like all these different podcast style edits, and then we'll just see which one performs the best. Most likely it's going to be Adams. If you're saying his name is that big and assuming you have a really good hook, like it'll probably be the best that performs. Then once we have that, what we can do is we can take that ad and we'll kill off this ad set because this lead generation funnel, we're saying like it's shit. Okay, great. That's fine. We're just going to use it to find our creative. After that, we'll take that creative and we'll put it into your top of funnel ad set. And then let's just let that run for like 3 days, 5 days, make sure nothing is breaking. And then from there, let's increase the ad spend. And we'll simultaneously increase the ad spend of the top of funnel and the middle of funnel simultaneously. A little bit this one, a little bit this one, a little bit this one. Fingers crossed it doesn't break. And we keep these within the $50-$60 range. That's kind of where my mind is to be able to scale ad spend.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
If you have to listen back to this, I know I kind of went over quite a few things.
Yeah, the one thing I did want to go over real quick again is so run the 3 testimonial videos, including Adams, run that again, see which one's going to be the winner. If it's Adams, then we kill the lead form ad. We use Adams testimonial into the regular funnel alongside the original video, or is it just Adams video?
Alongside it.
Alongside it.
So we have a talking head ad and we have Adam's testimonial ad, both top of funnel, both middle of funnel.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, I got you. So both 2 and 2.
Yep.
Okay.
So
And then
step
for
one,
the retargeting, I've never done a retargeting yet. There's some resources in there or
Mhm.
okay.
yeah. So in terms of it's really simple. If you need help, just let me know. But week 4, uh, it's like this stuff down here.
Okay.
Sorry, page is like loading really slow. Okay, launch your first ads, everything you need to know. And so if you
Mhm.
scroll like this, I think would be a good video, like top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. Create custom audiences you'll need. And then this step 4, set up your middle of funnel.
Okay.
Yeah. So all you're basically going to be doing is you're going to create a new ad set. If within that ad set, you're just going to have a few custom audiences. You're going to have like 50% video viewers the past 30, 60, 90 days. You're going to have Facebook engagers the last 365 days. You're going to have IG engager the last 365 days. People that visit your opt-in page but did not visit your calendar page. Those are going to be the custom audiences. And so you're going to have all of those custom audiences within that ad set.
And then everything else, the copy, everything stays the same.
It's literally the exact same ads. So you can
Oh,
literally
okay.
the same post ID and put them both. So you literally the exact ads, same post ID, same everything within the ad set.
Okay.
So step 1, create the warm retargeting ad set. Step 2, film the content with Atom. Step 3 is test out Atom's creatives with the other existing creatives to find your winner. Step 4, inject that into the top of funnel ad set. Don't put it into the middle of funnel, just like the top of funnel. Let's let it sit there for a few days. The next step is we're going to increase the ad spend a little bit, top of funnel, and then if things don't break every 3 days to 4 days, try to increase that, and then simultaneously, and then simultaneously increase the middle of funnel as well. So let's say we go from 20 to 30, and then we'll increase from $5 to $7, and then we'll go
Okay.
from 30 to eventually 50, and then we'll go from $7 to $9. So just kind of jump between those two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then with the testimonial that I filmed with Adam, because I was fishing around, I'm looking for the best intro and segment, right? I'm not like putting multiple cuts of the interview. Like I'm just going for that one question that I asked within that whole podcast.
I don't like, are you saying like what's gonna make the best ad? Is that kind of what you're asking? Like, are you asking?
Yeah, because then I was gonna say with Daniels, it's that one question that he asked, the way he set it up. Should I just go for that one immediately? Or if there's other things that he says in there that's kind of like that I think is best.
Yeah, like both. I think that what makes the ad work really well is that first, like 3 to 5 seconds, for sure. For sure, the 3 to 5 seconds are the most important, but then also what comes after that is very important as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a little bit of both, but I would put more credence to the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe you create one version with like, maybe you create like 3 different versions, 3 different hooks, but then the rest of the video is like the same because you're like, damn, I really picked the best out of the best. Right? That's a potential, that's a possibility to do it that way. Or you can do a Daniels way, which like all 3 of them are very different from each other. I don't necessarily think there's a right or wrong.
Okay.
I like the first option better, which is like make the core part of it really good and then just switch out the very beginning. That's what I personally think would be the best move.
Gotcha. And then if I'm looking for like say 3 different variations of that, am I putting all those 3 in addition, like in the same ad set? So a total would be like say 5.
Mhm.
And then from there just pick, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. And if we need to, and don't stress about this, by the way, like these details are not super important. Like I will, for example, sometimes I'll create you see my screen, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ads within an ad set. And then I'll be like, oh fuck it. I don't the data is not different enough. So what then I'll do what I'll do then is maybe I'll have 2 ad sets and I'll have like, 4 in here and then like, or 3 or 4 in here, and I'll break it up. And I do this like multiple times. Like I was explaining this to Drew, like I will do this and then I'll repeat it again. I'll do like one whole one with like 5 more in there. And I'll just be like, because I'll get different results. So this ad set this test might tell me something. This test might tell me something. This test might tell me, and then I have to use my discernment to be like, okay, what is all this data telling me? I think what it's telling me is to go with this one. So you have to do, so I just want to kind of let you know, it's not necessarily black and white. So
Mm.
for example, like let's say you do all 5 of the ads here. Let's say this ad gets like the best results, right? Highest unique click-through rate, cheapest cost per lead. But what if this has the lowest ad spend? Well, then maybe this isn't fair. Right. So that's what I mean is like you'll have like conflicting data. And so then what I'll do is I'll try to, again, do it here where each of them have enough ad spend where I can make a proper judgment. So you just have to just, in case this is confusing, I'm here. Just like shoot me the results and I'll like give you my feedback. I'll tell you like, here's what I think the data is telling us.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a little confusing, but I'm catching like the main drift. Basically just test them out, see which ones get the best results.
Yeah, test it out. And then if you feel like, hey, I don't think that this ad set and enough money is being spent to tell me for sure, okay, well then we'll do another test until we have decided like, okay, I feel good about what the data is telling me. And then you make that decision.
Mhm.
And again, I'll be here to help you make that decision.
Okay. And that would that same principle apply when I'm doing my clients' ads as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in my experience, it's like way simpler. Like this is more challenging. Like usually what I've just noticed over and over again is whenever you run ads for a client, if you throw in like 3 in there, Facebook is going to spend the most amount of money on one of them and have the best results. It's that's usually what happens. It's usually not nearly as
Gotcha.
complicated as B2B offers, which is what we're doing here, a B2B offer.
Mhm.
B2C offers, Facebook just it's one usually shits on the others.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much the only question. That's the only thing that I've been really wrestling with as far as like any concerning like the big picture stuff. The everything else as far as what's going on with my clients. With one of them actually, the premier, the guy that signed up for 3 months,
Mhm.
his school, so he's also running the same ads alongside mine, right? He's doing a video ad that's like well produced for the same offer, right? A free kids class. But the thing with that is I duplicated again and we're still not getting like no results. So
This is the
what I'm
dude,
thinking is,
the one where you had like $100 cost per lead.
yeah, yeah. So what I was thinking is that to go out and make some I haven't filmed with him yet. So what I was thinking is go out to film some ads and basically have my go at it with the video stuff in addition to some better photos. Because right now the photos that we're using they're not performing. So it's
So
been like $500 I think already, nothing.
Mm. So if my memory serves me correctly, it's like you were spending like $100 and you're like, oh shit, this shit's crazy. And then I think we reached out to that guy and he told you that his cost per lead was like $60,
Like 50
right?
bucks
$50. And it was $50 in that location, or was it $50 just overall general for kids? I think it was the later.
for the kids.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily this location, just overall kids. It's $50
Yeah.
for a lead. Yeah. And do you know what his numbers are for that location in particular or no? I think it was $50 for that location.
Or yeah, no, sorry. For his location, it's like 50, $60 pretty much consistently.
Yeah.
And he's only doing like $10 in ad spend.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I remember, yeah, your guy was like, and I was asking, I was like, well, why are we doing this? And he was like, he is happy or okay or content with the other agency's result. He wants to see if you can scale it up even further because this is only what you do. So yeah, okay. Um, yeah, man, you're both competing for the same audience and
Mhm.
he's just beating you on creative.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, there's no other explanation really than like the creative, the offer. It's the same thing.
That's the same thing. So he's beating out that probably also his pixel, his data. might be a little
Mhm.
bit better because he runs so many ads for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts and stuff like that. So he's got maybe a slightly better pixel. Um, so you can try, bro. You can try with the creative. I think the best that's gonna happen is I don't I like unless his cost per lead is like 20 bucks or 10 bucks in other locations, I think you're probably gonna be around 60 bucks if you match him on creative. If your creative becomes just as good, or if the algorithm is like, oh, this is slightly, better, slightly worse, but it looks different enough that the algorithm pushes it, I think you'll probably get like $60 per lead as well. That's what I realistically think is gonna happen. I think it's a much better move to figure out a different way to make him profit. That's what I personally think.
Mhm.
Like,
So,
you're not gonna like him you working with, yeah, it's much better for that guy, for the business owner overall, fundamentally making him profit. It's a much better idea for that business owner to get that agency to spend more money running his ad, his offer, and then for you to figure something else out different. I don't know if that's possible because of how you've sold him and what promises you've made him.
mhm.
So that's like, so you're asking me like, hey, Kershik, like, what if I go in there, create a new creative? Like, I'm telling you that this is what I think will occur.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured like since that could be the case, like me going out there would at least bring some like form of a W in his head where it's okay, at least he came over here, he created content, we got something. I can see that he's trying because I'm like, man, this is like the only person this has ever happened with.
It happens. Um, I mean, when you hopped on that, like, I think I remember seeing the sales call with him, or I remember skimming through it. It was a sales call or discovery call, and he wanted to work with you because, was it because of Adam, or was it a referral
No,
from
this
Adam?
is because this is a referral from my friend that I do content for.
Okay, the one that you're working with right now.
Yeah.
So your buddy that you're working with right now talk really good about you, and then this guy was like, "All right, let me give." Okay, so when it came to like this, like, did you have some kind of a guarantee or some kind of a promise or something that you made,
Yeah. I said 30 students in the end of the 90 days,
or what happens?
or we work for him for free until we do.
Um, and it was specifically 30 students and not like 30 clients, 30 members.
Yeah, the students.
Would he be willing to pivot? Like, would he be willing to allow you to like get him members as opposed to kids, or he specifically needs kids because of the way his clinic runs?
No, no, not students as in the members. Students is like
Oh,
means members.
oh, okay.
So it doesn't have to be kids, it could just be adults. But that agency is also running the same thing for adults.
Okay. So what's their cost per lead for kids and what's their cost per lead for adults?
For kids, 50 bucks. For adults, it was like around this $20 range as well.
So yeah, if the offer is to help him get students, then I would say you're much better off doing the students as opposed doing adults versus kids. For
Mhm.
sure. Um, and I think that your saving grace with him is like figuring out maybe how to do high ticket or something like that. Other than it's not that it's like saving grace, but it's like he's just gonna overall just be okay. He's gonna be content, but he's not gonna re-sign with you, I don't think, if you don't get him like better results. I don't
Mhm.
think he's gonna be a pain in the ass and ask for a refund and this and that. People rarely do that when it comes to referrals. Um,
The other thing too is that in addition to that, I'm doing a DR campaign. And the DR campaign, the list that we're using, the list is so we've gotten like a 4% opt-out rate already. And Go High Level flagged us for that. So it's been like 2 times now that we've gotten our SMS compliant. We've gotten a strike for it, right? So that's put a wrench in the process because it's slowing us down because then it's like, oh hey, the DR campaign isn't going live because the messages aren't being sent. The messages that do end up getting sent once it's back live instantly gets denied again because so many people opt out.
um, I'm not an expert when it comes to that stuff, bro. In terms of like the compliance stuff. If you want to maybe
Mhm.
send your message to me and Mason so we can see it, and then maybe I can tell you like, hey, here's how I'd maybe phrase it. Then maybe there's something I can see there. But in terms of compliance and all stuff, like Mason's probably gonna know that a little better than I am if something you're doing is like technically wrong. If it's the messaging, I can help you with that.
No, it wasn't the messaging. It was just the fact that so many people are like saying like stop, do not disturb, right? Like I'm not interested.
How many are you sending out at one time?
We're sending 80 a day,
So 80 a day every single day.
3 days. So we're sending about, yeah, 80 a day for 3 days, Monday through Thursday, so 4 days.
Did you get strike the first day or the second day?
It's usually, so today it happened the first day because it went back live again on Monday, which is today, and it happened right away.
How many people? So it happened right away after you sent out the 80 at once?
Yeah, so people start just opting out left and right. It seemed like a lot of people. I don't have the number exactly how many opted out, but it went from I got a message email from high level. At first it was 3%, and then now it went shot up to like 4.1% of people opted out.
Yeah. So what I would do is instead of setting 80 at once, put it in a drip sequence and then send them throughout the day periodically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so right now it's in a drip sequence of sending like 80 for 30 minutes, or like sending three. It's
Yeah,
sending
that's a
three.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mason,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mason, what were you doing for your Godfather? Like, what you were sending how many a day, and then what would
I
you?
was at 7. So the rate that Jorge is going is crazy, in my opinion. Because I was sending like 100 a day, but I was spreading them out like for like an hour and a half time span.
So like one every what, like 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like 3 every 5 or something, somewhere in that range maybe. But if
Mhm.
you do 80 all at once, or like within like a how long do you say a 30-minute time frame? Every what? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Every 3 minutes. So yeah, it's like I think 8 every 3 minutes for 30 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I forget the exact math, but
That would be the first thing I would do if I were you.
You
so
have
just spread it out throughout the day.
That's the first thing. The second thing is there's got to be something wrong with the, I mean, maybe not necessarily wrong with the offer, but there's got to be something wrong with the message, I guess.
Yeah, to get so many people that say like I'm not interested. For me, what I'm hearing is it is the influx of those I'm not interested like at a really fast rate, and that's what's like triggering the issue. So it's like fixing the messaging and delaying it so that you have less no's, less opt-outs. Um, do you have to keep that opt-out thing there, Mason, or like can you get in trouble?
You can get in trouble. I mean, it only if it's the first message. So if you've texted them before, you never have to do it again.
What if you like manually message people? Like I would manually message people all the time. I don't have like any type of like opt out, but it's like a manual message. Is it only when it's like an automated campaign? Or is it like you message anybody anytime and you have to let them know?
Yeah, that right there. But it's also just the first message that's required to do that. You have to state your name and like what business you're from.
Yeah. So how long is it going to take you to get this up and running again, Jorge?
What?
Like to get it like not banned or whatever, where you can send out another campaign.
I got to email them again and basically go through support all over again because that's what I did the first go around. I hopped on support. I let them know the situation. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. So I'd say maybe like a day. Hopefully tomorrow I can see if it's still sending them.
Can you maybe like tell them, hey, this is the second time it's happened? Is there anything you can do within my system, within my account, or put some kind of something in there so it doesn't get flagged? Maybe you want to bring that up as well. So
Okay.
that's what I would do if I were you. And then the second thing is once you're ready, like Mason said, build it out where it's going to be more spread throughout the day.
I
And
could
then
do that like tomorrow, like ASAP. So that's the first thing I could do.
also just like send that messaging over to us so I can see it. And then maybe I can help you with the messaging there in case there's something that's like a big red flag.
Gotcha. So like so the offer itself.
Like literally the message, like what you're like, hey,
Okay.
copy and paste, screenshot it, send it over, and then I'll look at it and I'll tell you if there's something I would tweak.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are 3 things that you can do for that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, overall with that guy though, it's you can go in there and here's the thing, man, like I don't think people care about effort. Like I know what you're saying, but I don't think really
Mhm.
people care about effort. Like they care about effort. People care about effort when like they can see themselves getting closer and closer to the goal. But if people are not getting closer to the goal at all, effort means nothing, in my experience.
Yeah.
So it's like if you go in there and shoot the thing, whatever, he's gonna be excited, he's gonna be happy. But then if the ads don't perform at all, he's gonna forget about that real quick. I promise he's gonna forget about that real quick. And he's gonna have no gratitude for you, in my
Yeah.
experience. So it's all about like just getting results.
I mean, he
So
asked me, he's like, should I turn them off as well? You think I
he
should
asked
tell him just turn them off?
he asked you if you think you should turn off the ads for the kid
His
campaign.
the other ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I think I told you last time I wouldn't recommend that
Yeah.
because that's gonna make you look like an asshole if you can't figure shit
Uh,
out, right?
yeah.
So if I were you, I would go in there, I would film definitely, and we can test it, and we can test and see if you can get better results, but I highly doubt it. But what you can do, so here's what I would do. I would go in there, I would create content for both kids and adults. Okay. And then I would come back and then we can test the ads out and see if you can get better results. I think you're gonna have like the same results as him. And if you get the same results as him, then you can technically say, hey, tell that guy to turn it off and I'm gonna you know, scale this up. You can say that and now you're all of a sudden a good guy. But well, I think we have to cross this bridge when we get there. So let's like run the ads when you get here. I think you're gonna have similar results, if not slightly worse results. And then I think it makes sense to just focus on adults. That's most like what I would do if I were you. And provide value in some other way that the other agency is not, which would make him happy. Which I think maybe focusing on like the back end.
What do you mean back end? Like following up with the leads, calling them up?
Along with the leads, calling them up, getting them through the establishment, maybe coaching, consulting them with high ticket, doing one-on-one sessions, high ticket packages. That's the kind of stuff that I think would separate you from the other agency.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because right now I'm thinking like if this isn't going according to plan and I have to resort to that, then how do I basically like kind of shift the frame from okay, we're no longer going to be focusing on the lead gen. We're now going to be getting you results through this way.
Well, you are
Is it
doing,
just
you're
yeah?
doing just giving him more support on the back end.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So the only thing that you need to tell him to give him a heads up on is like, hey man, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna create content, and I'm creating content for both different kinds of campaigns. I think that based off of what I'm seeing, I see certain things in terms of offers to kids versus offers to adults. So I'm gonna create content just to make sure I kill 2 birds with one stone, just to be efficient with time. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna run the ads from our end and see what the data tells us, and then we're gonna go all in on the thing that's gonna make you the most profitable. And once we have it dialed in terms of the ads, we're gonna work with you in terms of the back end to really increase the lifetime value. That's how I would position and say it to him.
Hmm.
And then you go in and do your thing, film, do what you need to do.
Okay.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
No, I'll do that. It's just like it just sucks. So I'm like, man, this is like the only person that it's happening to. So now I'm just like, damn, I'm not feeling like I once was up here, right? So now I'm like, damn, this is
It's not you though. Like it's I know you feel that way, but this is just, and I know it probably doesn't help hearing it. Like you it doesn't hear like, bro, it's not your fault, but it really isn't your fault. It's just the location, bro. It's not on you. You didn't do shit. You didn't do shit to hurt yourself, and you should still celebrate. You're getting wins everywhere else. You can't win
Mhm.
everywhere. And I don't know if I ever told you the story. I had the same situation. I had a guy in the Silicon Valley. There's a guy named Michael. He was inside the pro. I don't know if you ever met him. I was doing a trial
I
for
don't
him.
think so.
Yeah, so he was in the coaching pro. I was doing a trial for them. This is back when I used to do 24-hour trial. I was running ads and I was freaking the fuck out because I couldn't get any results. And I didn't think he was going to convert over and work with her in our coaching program. I was like, hey man, here's what's happening. this is the first time I ever seen it. He was the first time I ever saw it with. Here's what I think is realistically going on. I think it's a location thing. And he trusted the process. He trusted me enough to say, hey, cool, this makes sense. And he wanted to work with together. But essentially I'm just like telling you, like, when I say it's not your fault and all this stuff, what I'm just simply trying to convey to you is, bro, like, it's happened to me. I get it. I know how much it sucks. It's annoying. It doesn't make you feel good, but like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. So don't feel like you're not here. You're here. I promise.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you for that.
Welcome. Other thoughts in your head, bro?
No, nothing else, but I had a last Saturday, I went to go to the gym to film with Adam because he had like a seminar. And after that, he had basically like a ambassador's Q&A session with like the guests that came through. And long story short, he ended up talking about like his new approach of what he's gonna do, which was what I was mentioning with the one-on-one, and then putting them into a group session. So he mentioned that to the other owners there, to the other martial arts academy owners, which are my clients as well, right? And that's when I was like, yo, that's exactly what I was talking to you guys about. And now that they have more buy-in, so now I think we're all going to be heading in that direction, which is dope because it got their mind working. And I'm telling them like, yeah, this is like from my experience and from my travels going to the Colorado, that's what I think would be the best way to actually like get more qualified people, but also be able to sell them more efficiently. Like
Yeah.
doing that one-on-one session and then doing to the group class.
So he's doing it because of something you planned in his mind of like, hey man, we should totally test this out, and he's down to test it out. He's kind of just sharing that with everybody, and now you're like,
Yeah,
hey, that's cool.
yeah.
Uh, there's another thought, man. Like I've known Adam's big based off what you've told me, but like he's like someone you should definitely be doing like more. I mean, it's a little bit early now. Like, how are results with Adam, by the way?
Good. I mean, just we always get hella leads at like $7, and we uh we get a couple of weirdos coming in, but
Uh,
that's like to be expected from leads, I think, just
You
because
know
it's
what?
a free class.
You know what you should do? You know what I would do if I were you?
What's
I
up?
would work with you. If I were you, I would work with Adam and make like a VSL, if he's down for it, like some kind of VSL funnel, some kind of thing to sell his coaching program, sell that shit for like 16 grand. And you basically charge a percentage. So you basically, he's a coach consultant, help him make an online course, an online program of like, yeah, there.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because did I tell you about this before about how he's trying to do his course? So he's creating a coaching program of how to build how to open up a school.
Yeah,
And like this is one of the conversations we were having actually. He's
that's where
like,
the,
man, like I think with your expertise and like my knowledge from what you're telling me, we can make this thing work. Because I told him how uh my friend that I do content for, I'm sitting right here with him in his balcony. He has a coaching program. He's doing the same thing. And I told him, like, man, you can totally sell that. Like it's the proof of concept is there. You could totally do that. And then literally just do the same thing that all the other coaches are doing.
yeah.
But
If I
like
were
he's
you,
on board. He's already creating the content. Like he's on that for sure.
you're the guy that you're working for right now, your position as like a videographer. With Adam, you have the opportunity to position yourself as a growth partner or a business partner for equity in the company. So if I'm you, for sure, like you guys should be selling that for like 16 grand. And because of his face, like his face will fucking do all the selling. And you can handle literally getting his calendar booked. You can handle maybe even doing this discovery sales call. You can handle bringing on sales reps. You can handle, a CSM, like you can like all the shit that we're doing here, but you're learning all of it. The guy that
Mhm.
you work right now, he's just doing it himself. So there's not much opportunity there other than being a content creator. But if I were you, I would do that. I don't know if he's got a YouTube. I would definitely be on
He's got
YouTube.
YouTube. He's got 10,000 subs.
Bro, I would be on that, man. I would be on that. That's where the
Yeah, I'm
money.
gonna see him tomorrow then. I'm gonna push him to keep doing it then. Is there a way that you like recommend me to like because he's like big on like how can we like what are like some crumbs that I could like feed him to basically like okay like this will work for sure.
What are you
Like
saying?
kind of like what would be like the first easy like steps that I can help him take to move towards that direction. because he's already creating the content. We're already we're already creating content on YouTube and Instagram for his brand, but also for the school. So like, what can I do to basically kind of nurture that relationship and make that a real thing?
So I would maybe cut a deal with him. So what you could do is just say, hey, look, and again, maybe if you want to remind me of this in the Slack, I can kind of maybe give a little bit of a pitch, kind of give you like a thing that I would say. If you just want to message me out, that'll remind me. But I think the first thing, like if you're saying like to give him a crumb where he believes it, you say, hey, look, here's my overall plan, here's the overall vision, here's where I think we can really take this, here's where I think the LTV, lifetime value, here's what I think the profit is. You got to give him all the numbers, right? And I really think this is a 7-figure thing. If what you're telling me it's a 7-figure thing, it's a $500,000, $250,000 thing for you to pocket, for sure. If you are saying he is as big as he is, for sure, 16 grand is worth it for a program
Yeah.
for sure. People would be willing to pay that. And I think, and not even like let's just say 5 grand. Fuck 16 grand. I think he's worth
And
16
that's
grand.
he was saying he's like on a higher ticket note. He was saying like, man, I want to start doing stuff like 5 grand. And I was like, man, you could same thing. I'm like, you could charge so much more.
Way more, way more. But let's just say even 5 grand. I mean, it's still $1 million thing, I think. So anyways, you do the whole pitch, show all the numbers, and then what you do is say, hey, look, we can take baby steps. And the most important thing is building out a client acquisition funnel. This is literally what I use to book calls with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu business owners myself to sell my agency services. And what I can do is I can build the same thing for you to help you get your calendar full. And then from there, that's proof of concept. That'll show you that there's a demand for this. So how about that? And then you go, you shoot the ad, you build the funnel, you show him book sales calls, but you don't let him take the sales calls. You don't let him do anything because then you give up your power. What you have to do is just show him proof of concept, like, here, this is all it is. And you can take a few of the calls and then push them over. Yeah, that's it. That's all you really need to do. I mean, you can take a few discovery calls and warm these people up and get that over to him just to kind of give him a nibble, give him a taste. But you don't want to hand over your power, in my opinion, because he needs to think and needs to believe. And he probably doesn't. He's probably a busy guy, so he probably doesn't want to take on sales call. He probably doesn't want to build a sales team. Probably doesn't want to. So if you show him like, hey, I have the power to get the people in, I have the power to do discovery calls, I have the power to do the sales calls, I have the power to build a sales team. All you have to do is fucking be an expert. Just be an expert. Let me take care of the rest. And I think that'll be enough proof of concept for him. But he
So
cannot
does
be
he?
he cannot be stuck in the content like machine. You guys can't be filming a bunch of content, doing a bunch of shit. You guys have to have talking head like Loom videos like I use, and you have to get the shit like fast.
That's
Don't
what he's doing.
spend like 2 years
I
trying
put
to.
him on Loom, and he's doing that same thing. He's like, man, ever since he showed me Loom, like I've been doing my thing with it, and I've just been creating a whole bunch of content. And he's like, I don't see the point in like same. I was telling him, man, there's no need for this fancy stuff. Like the best stuff is what you have in here. Like that's what people pay for, not for like how you look. It look dope in front of a camera. So, do you think that he should have all his like course done already, or should I just like start creating the funnel?
Yeah, create the funnel. Don't fuck the course. Course doesn't matter. The
Hmm.
course doesn't
So
matter. The way a coaching program is created, like done the right way, I'll tell you this after, like, this is my entire life. It's never perfect, and you're always going to be building. Like, I literally just, I don't know if you guys saw this. I literally just refilmed like all the intro videos. And this is after like, I don't know how 7, 8 years. I keep redoing this is the shit that matters. Anyways, point is it's not gonna be perfect, and he's gonna have to revamp and redo it over and over again. So just get the funnel launched. Yeah, just get the funnel launched and show him it works, and then you'll take care of the rest. And then
so
I'll
with
by step.
so what that entails is filming the ads for his course, right? Like,
Filming the ad, so filming an ad that goes over to calendar page to book a call with them. That's it. And then a thank you page.
and then basically copy paste of like what I do for my acquisition.
Yep, literally the same thing.
Doesn't have to be fancy or anything. It should just be like information, VSL,
Yeah, just don't.
calendar, thank you page video.
Yeah, don't. I mean, don't make it look like shit. Like your stuff is like fine. Your stuff is like very plain Jane, classy. Like that's it. That's all you need. If he is who he says he is, I don't see why he would not get booked out.
Gotcha. And then taking care of handling the script myself as well.
Yeah, you handle the script and everything. If you want his help, like, or like, if you want to send that script over to me, like, obviously I can like review it.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I didn't even know that you had this opportunity, bro. Like, that's such a Like that's such a
Yeah.
good option. That's way
Yeah.
like what you're doing is cool, but like that's where the real money is if I'm you.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
don't
no, I
know.
mean he's legit. He's the real deal, man. Like I 1,000% believe in him.
Good.
Because he's already built 3 schools. He's about to build a 4th one too. So it's like he has people who have proof of concepts who like did his teachings and they have their own schools now. So
So, dude, yeah, bro, like that's where the fucking money is. That's where you need to be focusing.
that's
So
crazy how it just turned out from this to this.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny how things work out.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's all I had, man. Thank you for all the advice today.
You're welcome, bro. Yeah, just keep me posted, okay?
We'll do.
What do we got next? We're Darte.
What's up, guys?
I'm chilling. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just getting this new baby, man. It's tiring.
Yeah. Were you on like an hour and a half of sleep a night?
No, actually, my wife's actually last 3 nights I got 4 hours solid, so that's good. But
That's
then like
good.
today we had our her checkup or whatever. So I didn't get much done today. I didn't get to respond to you reply. So sorry about that.
All good.
But yeah, basically I was just curious about launching ads as an HVAC, right? Because that's what we talked about. And then just kind of like getting leads that way, and then possibly DMing or SMSing businesses saying like, "Hey, I got these leads for you." Yeah. So I guess I just wanted to know more about that because I remember like you were telling me to do like a split test, and I don't really know how that works or like or what you had in mind. So I was just hoping you could like walk me through that.
Yeah. So if we were to like just step by step, like just bare bones, I might miss some steps here, but I'm gonna try to my best to get these. So what would I do? Yeah, so what you would most likely do is you'd come in here and you'd screen record, download, and like for this part, for example.
At Home Mountain Heating, our mission is properly maintaining your heating and cooling system. That's right. Our goal is to
Yeah, like you literally screen record this, and then this becomes your ad, and then this becomes your creative, right? So if I take a step back first, step one is like create some kind of Facebook page and some kind of Instagram, right? That's like the very, very first step. Like the same thing you have to do for your business. All that stuff, Facebook, Instagram, creating a pixel. Then step two is going to be like literally screen record this and cut it out within your, editing software. And literally this becomes your copy. This comes your creative, your headline, everything is here. Same thing when it comes to this page. Like you have access to this page, you can literally screen record the video. I mean, actually, when you download it, the video is already actually in here. The video is already created. So what you could do, I mean, is you could literally just like, if you wanted to, you could edit out where it says like the brand name and stuff. Like you can make those slight tweaks if you wanted to. But I don't think for the purposes of this stage, it even matters. It really doesn't matter because all you're trying to do is you're just trying to see like, hey, can I get leads and can I get people to book a call through this? And so, and
Right.
then
Make it an expense.
Oh. So yeah, that's that in terms of like this. And so you would have like one campaign where you would just literally follow the targeting, you followed everything, boom, you're good to go. And what I would also do is I would create an Excel sheet for this specific funnel. So just like you have your Excel sheet, you have your Excel with all your numbers, your ad spend, cost per click, cost per lead, all that stuff, all the metrics, put them in for this funnel right here. And give it like $100. Like say, hey, I'm going to spend $100 and see what happens. And if I can meet Jason's numbers, well then awesome, great.
Jason, sorry. Okay.
So you have your Facebook, Instagram created. Step one. Step two, you've recorded this and you've launched all this as if it's your own. Nobody needs to know any different. It really doesn't fundamentally matter. If you need to slightly tweak up the video, use AI, editing magic, you can. It's not that serious. Nobody really cares. And this is not for anything other than just like, you just want to have proof of concept. That's all we're doing during this day. We're just seeing if this even works in 2024. The next step is now you can recreate those ads that you showed me of the ones that were like taken with an iPhone. So either you can recreate them, or again, you can do the same thing, just screen record. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. And those would have their separate campaigns, not separate ad sets, but separate campaigns. So if you have two different kinds of offers, three different kinds of offers, you need to have three different kinds of campaigns. You literally repeat everything you just did here. You repeat the same thing. So let's say you have 3 campaigns running. One is to this funnel, one is to another lead format, one is to another lead format, and you have 3 Excel sheets. Now what we're doing is we're looking at all the numbers. Let's say you spend $100 per campaign. Then we look at it and say, okay, based off of these numbers, here's what I think I should be running. This is the campaign I want to go with. This is my winner. This is the best strategy for me to help out HVAC clients. This is the best way for me to get leads for as cheap as possible. And to be clear, why are we doing all this, Daniel? The reason we're doing this is because we don't have an HVAC agency owner to give us this number. So we got to figure out ourselves. And this is the fastest, most efficient way that I can think of. So now that we have that, now it's like, okay, great. I know what kind of campaign works. I know what kind of targeting works. I know, what kind of creative offer, all that stuff works. The moment somebody signs up with me, I'm just going to copy and paste and do exactly that. And then if you need to refilm, if you need to reshoot, if you need to do something, well, then you do it then. But don't shoot anything. Don't do anything until you absolutely need to. Right now, just screen record and everything. And just like, that's good enough. Afterwards, it's like, okay, this is the campaign I want to run with. Either leave the material the way it is or go film it. Go edit it. Make it professional if you want to at that point. Or if it's like ends up being like, yeah. Then now it's like, okay, we have that stuff. Well, now let's focus on client acquisition. Now you can go back to focus on client acquisition, building your funnel, doing the SMS stuff that Drew was doing. Pick one of those and we can go all in on that. I think you should focus on the ads before you focus on the SMS stuff. I think the SMS stuff is going to work for you no matter what. I think you should focus on ads.
So one of the things I have, I guess like on the ads manager, right? There's like a split, like I think A/B test or something like that.
I wasn't talking about that.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, what I was talking about was like, like right now, I've got this campaign running, right? So this campaign might be the one where you do exactly what Jason is doing. And this campaign is what you're doing in terms of, a lead form ad for like AC repair. And then you have another campaign for like AC units. Each campaign is its own like offer pipeline machine, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then as far as like launching it, like where do you think I should launch? Like just pick cities throughout the country and like just maybe 3 different cities?
Yeah, that's what was bringing my head is like, you can either, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like overthinking a little bit, but like, let's say you thought to yourself, you know what, like I want in my location, I want to start where I am. You're based in where, California, you said?
Yeah.
So maybe you say, hey, dude, like, let me just go ahead and just like target California, maybe within an hour of where you live, right? Maybe that's just what you want to do. And then this way, if you want to, you can go do the SMS stuff afterwards because you already generate the leads. They're within your location. You know it's hot. You know people need HVAC services, and you can do something with the leads that you spent $300. You liquidate that right away. Get somebody to do a trial, for example. And
Got it.
yeah. And
Okay.
results will vary in terms of expense, right? The results will vary, like here versus New York versus Florida versus Ohio. Like the numbers will be different because HVAC demand is different per location, right?
Yeah.
But I think that again, here's my theory is that if you have campaign 1, campaign 2, campaign 3, campaign 4, let's say this is your winner. This is going to win everywhere. It's going to win in California. It's going to win in Ohio. It's going to win everywhere. That's what I think. That's my theory.
And you say $100 like on each campaign. So like, in how long? Like, how long do you think I should be running ads? Like a week?
Like do like, $20 a day, 20, 40, 60. Yeah, it's about a week. So all the stuff should, you should be able to run all these within about a week's time. And so my suggestion is like $100 per campaign.
Right.
So I know there's there's Jason's method, and then I think you showed me like 2. You showed me something for like HVAC, like AC repairs and like AC replacement units. So let's just say that's 3 different things. So that would be $300.
Okay.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
No, that really cleared it up. Thank you.
Anything else you want to go over, Daniel?
Well, no, I mean, like, I sent you my concern about Kyle's. I was hoping he'd be on, but Kyle's contact.
Yeah.
I still haven't responded to her. She knows I have like a baby coming. I had a baby coming soon, so I'm just gonna like give it a couple of days and then reach out and be like, hey, I think we were miscommunicating here or misunderstanding each other. But I wonder if she thinks that I'm asking her profit margins so that way I'm getting a piece of it, like a percentage of it.
I mean, all right, so walk me through the entire not the entire, but like walk me through it chronologically. Like, so you got Kyle gave you the information. What'd you do?
Yeah.
Walk me
So
through.
I called her like the same day he gave me the number. She didn't answer. I left a voice message, and then I also texted her. I said, hey, her name is Joan. I said, hey, Joan, I also left you a voicemail, but I just got your number through Kyle, whatever. When are you available to meet? And then she says, yeah, we can do it. I think the next day. So the next day, 8 or 9 a.m., I met her on Zoom. I asked her all the questions. I sent her ahead of time so she knows like what I'm asking. And so on the list is what's your profit margin, And then she told me it was about 18% of the gross can be anywhere. She said, I mean, it could be from 500,000 a year to, if it was a really good year, it could be 5 million a year gross. Just depends. But the profit margin is about 18%. I said, okay. And then that was on I think a Thursday. I said I would reach out to you. I said I think I have enough to get things going here as far as like building stuff out. I thought I'd be talking to people in the meantime, but that didn't happen. So I said, yeah, I'll reach out to you by Friday. So then Thursday, the day before, a week later, I said, hey, Joan, good morning. I'm going to need some more time to do some research, but in the meantime, can you tell me the following? And I said, your profit margin for what are the prices of your AC installation? And then what's the profit margin of that? Is 18% accurate? Or is that like a, higher or lower than the overall? And then I said the same with your service calls, and then what service is currently selling. And then the next day she responded like, first of all, I don't know why you're asking this. I don't even tell my bank manager this. And she's like, we're just like going off. And I just thought that was weird. Like, oh, okay. And then I'm trying to pull it up here.
So when Kyle first did the handoff, do you know what he by any chance said to her about you, about who you are and what the opportunity is and whatever? Do you know what he told her?
Yeah, she actually told me, like read the text in front of me. She's like, Kyle told her, hey, Joan, I have a guy in my coaching class who's doing HVAC. He would basically run ads for you if you wanted to for free, if do all the legwork if you wanted to pay for ad spend. But that'd be whatever you're wanting to spend, basically. So I said, okay, good. Because my concern was, like make sure they understand they're paying for ad spend. So then she knew that. So So I said, okay. And then, like I said, the next time I talked to her, I asked her for the AC installation price, profit margin, and then the same for the service call prices, and then also what service is currently selling for her. And then the next day she says, first of all, I don't give anyone my profit margins at all, not even my bank manager. I have no idea why you would need to know this stuff to make an ad. Not happening.
To make
And
it
I thought it was, yeah. So then I said, okay. I was like, that's weird because we talked about it on our Zoom call. And I said, John, I think I'm sorry if I offended you, but all I'm doing is I said, I'm looking for I'm trying to figure out the ballpark of your cost, what a cost per lead, cost per click, and cost per acquisition would be. I just kind of fed her some, like jargon. And then so I said, so this way I can give you a good presentation. And then she says, I don't think it should be based at all around my profit margins. It should be based at here are the amounts per click, or you can go higher or lower, my choice, her choice. But if that's how you base it, then it will not work for us. Thank you. And I haven't responded since, but I thought that was kind of odd. Like, and then I was thinking about it. I was like, I think maybe she's thinking like, okay, if your profit margin is this, then I want a cut of it, a percentage, and not a flat fee.
So Kyle did that introduction. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go back to the beginning, because there's usually an issue not later on, but at the very beginning. When you hopped on the call with her, like, what did you say about like who you are and what you're doing and why you're trying to do it? Like, can you give me the footnotes of that?
I said, I'm sorry.
Like, who are you? Why are you here? What's in it for you? What's the ultimate game plan? How did they benefit while you benefit? Like, did you have that part of the conversation? And if so, can you give me the footnotes there?
Yes, I told her, and it's on a Zoom or a Loom video, so it's recorded. But I said, I asked her, did Kyle tell you what we're doing here? And then she said, yeah. And she read his text. And I said, okay. I'm like, yeah, the reason, I wanted to reach out to you is because, I started launching ads. I got a Pilates client for Pilates Studio, and it's not a good fit for me. So I wanted to, I thought about niching down to HVAC, and that's the reason why I'm talking to you, is because I want to know more about your business. And this way I can know like what works for HVAC. And then I said, I prefaced the Zoom call with, I'm going to be basically coming at it from like two different angles. Like, one, I'm going to be coming at it from like what would sell you, meaning like what copy, what creative, and like what ad would attract you, so I could I could hire you, or rather you could hire me. What I say? Basically the two options were for her to be my client, and then the second was for me to get you results. Like, so that's what I told her. And then she said, okay. So I'm like, yeah, the interview's basically broken into that part. And then we started the interview. I was like, okay. And then she's definitely like Kyle said, like quirky, or like shot from the hip. And I thought she was fun. And like, like we're laughing together. Like we had a good rapport on the Zoom call. And then boom, it was just like a week later, it was like all that. I was like, okay.
The only thing I can, like, your logic makes sense in terms of what you think the issue is. I wonder if maybe it's as simple as like, hey, Jane Doe, just had a few quick follow-up questions. And this is to help me get an idea of what ads to run for you. But I was wondering, can you share your profit margins with me for service X, Y, Z? Again, this will better help me determine what I think the best marketing strategy will be for you. So maybe, I don't know, like if you would have said that, do you think it would have been a different outcome, or do you think it would have been the same?
Maybe. I mean, I honestly don't even know why. Only after thinking about it, I was like, she probably thinks that I'm getting like I said, like, okay, if you're making 20,000 on a profit, I want like 10% of that or something. But as opposed to a flat fee for the service.
Like, so she would have to assume that you're trying to sell her. And so this is why I was asking at the very beginning of the conversation of like how you're, how were you introduced to her, and how did you introduce yourself? If you diffuse the situation properly, then she would assume that you're not making any money. And if she
Yeah.
believes that, then she's going to do nothing but give you all the right information. She's going to give you everything. In my opinion, she would only not give it to you if she feels like she's going to be sold something.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I never even brought up, I never even told her like, oh yeah, this is a trial run, and then maybe we can, work something out after. I never even brought that up. I just said this is just for me to learn and for you to kind of like gain, what you said basically. It's like quid pro quo. Like I'll do this for you, and like you kind of give me the information so I can be better at it.
What I would ultimately say, Daniel, is like, I to me, it is quite the coincidence, but like I said, until we get like 5 or 6 people and I see like the next 5 or 6 people you have issues with, like, let's not overthink it. Let's
Yeah.
not too much about it. To me, it sounds like almost a coincidence. And you're gonna like, we all get better and better at communicating, and that's all that there is. There's not really much more to say based off of everything you said. Like we've been on this for like the last 15 minutes, and like I don't see anything jumping out at me.
Yeah. So I think I'll probably text her tomorrow, just like, hey, sorry we had the baby. It's been busy, but I just wanted to like, follow up with you. And like, I think maybe you miscommunicate or you misunderstood, or maybe I kind of like, I don't know. I'm not selling anything.
Can you send voice notes or no? Like I don't know if like iPhones, like Android.
She doesn't have an iPhone. She has an Android.
So do you
So I
have
don't
can't send voice notes? Yeah.
know. I mean, I can take a voice memo, but I don't know if I'll send it to her, if that will work.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. It's like I was wondering if that's something like that would work.
Oh, maybe I can send a voice note. I've never done it with anybody but with an iPhone.
Yeah. So, because I'm wondering if like the best thing to do probably is just like to hop on a quick call. Be like, hey, sorry, had the kiddo. Jane, do you have a quick 2 minutes? I feel like there's some miscommunication. I was wondering, can I hop on a quick call with you? And then you explain.
Yeah.
And very, very like, nothing is ever for sale here. You are silly to not let me do this for you. Right. Like
Yeah.
that energy that you give her. And like that's the best thing you could probably do, I think. The voice note is like, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. I would try to do that first actually. Before,
Okay.
yeah, I would try to do a text to a phone call, and then if she doesn't respond, which I think would be weird, then you can like maybe text and do the voice note.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yep.
Yeah, but like I said, it was just like so odd because Allie said not happening like all the time. Like everything I said, she's like not happening, not happening. So I thought that I woke up thinking that was Allie, like what? Anyway, but yeah, I was just like, okay, am I the asshole? Like what am I doing wrong here?
I don't sweat it. I don't think so, man. Just had, you know, 2 bad cases of the flu. That's all it is.
All right. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have.
You sure you're good with everything else that we spoke about earlier?
Yeah. 'Cause I got your response here too. So I'm basically doing like 3 things simultaneously, right? Where was my
Yeah. So let's say that you get her on board, yeah?
yeah.
So you get her on board. What I would do is I would try to get results first for yourself, right? So try to, again, if you can bang all this out here within the next 2 to 3 days before she officially gives you a green light, then, the smart thing to do, man, is like maybe it's like confirming everything for them. Like whatever you do it for yourself and then run maybe those exact ads for them and see if you get the same results. And if you do, well, then it's like, okay, perfect. I know for sure that I picked the winner. And boom, you're good to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So you spent some of your own money, create a hypothesis, create a theory, and then run it for them and just confirm that. It's like, okay, good. I've got what I need now. I know how to get these people results.
Got it.
And then now you just focus all of your time and energy on just getting clients.
Cool.
Cool, man. Well, if you need anything, let us know.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna hop off. I'll see you on the next one.
What do we got next? Rivera, that's you. Yep.
Hey, Kushik.
What's going on, man?
Hey, everyone.
Hello, hello. So
Yeah, I got to see your reply there. But yeah, the middle funnel I still haven't launched, so yeah, I definitely just wanted to kind of reconnect with you there and see if that's still good to go. But yeah, something like a middle funnel just to see. Um, but yeah, the ad just started popping off. Funny enough, the last couple days, but nothing different other than actually think I misspoke when I said I just changed the color text. I think instead of leads, I use different wording.
oh, okay.
What would you say? Because I mean, even the text on the main video was always kind of a paraphrase, like, hey, because that's kind of like what it was spoken about, you know. What would you say? I think the original one was, I see leads coming in and I'm thankful for you, which is something she kind of said. It was just like more so I could fit it inside the actual video because it would be too long. So I just kind of paraphrased, but I think the change was like I changed the color and then I said instead of
What would you say to dentists who tried different marketing agents?
this was actually a direct quote from her. She said, "You bring me patients I never would have seen." So
Okay. So you basically changed the text below the video.
yeah, just the text and the color. But it was actually a full change. I misspoke when I said it was just the color. But yeah, I just took something else she said that kind of stood out to me. I was just watching the video over and over again, just like really trying to like see if there's like a golden nugget I could pull out. And yeah, at one point she was like, "Yeah, you bring me patients I would have never seen." Um, so I just changed that, and that seemed to be, and those numbers should be up to date. I added another one for we talked about last week how we should try that same winning ad, the original winning ad with our original booking page. I did run that for a bit for like up to, I think that's it right there. I did run for that for a bit. I turned it off today just because I saw I wasn't getting any leads compared to, I was running the current one that shows like with the variant testimonial ads, getting around the same clicks, but just total, total big jump in leads. And I think there was only 2 fakes.
So,
So 5 are real.
these would form
And
a
then,
so is this for like all of the, yeah, so these are all the testimonial variations, the new one, the old one. Okay.
mhm,
7
mhm.
at 9. Dude, that's fucking awesome, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really don't understand why the first one died. I had to go kind of like back to the basics with this and just come back at it and do some subtle changes. I was gonna make some big changes, do the hook with my face, and honestly, I'm still kind of down to try that, but I just did subtle. There was a long pause that she did in the beginning for her first answer that took like 10 seconds for her kind of thinking. I cut all that out, and what I found was the original ad isn't really working in this ad set anymore, but the change in the text um, from instead of saying I'm so thankful for you to you bring me patients I would have never seen seemed to be the thing that like got it to work again. But it's essentially the same content, like this essentially the same video, just different text and maybe a little snappier hook. But yeah, I felt like, you know, I was in between two worlds, and sorry if I'm rambling, but it was like we had it pumping, and then it's like my whole mind was on sales and discovery call scripting and modifying and optimizing that. And then it shits the bed, and then I have to like shift my mindset very quickly to, okay, I need to go focus on putting out this fire now. So I was very back and forth, and then in the middle of that, I'm dealing with like, some second shooting I'm dealing with. So, but luckily enough, yeah, it started working again. So I feel like now I'm back on that, like, refining my script, kind of getting towards the end of that. So, um, but um, but I still like almost like from that experience, I was like, maybe I should have a couple more eggs in a couple different baskets, like having the middle funnel, having, a couple safety nets just in case it does shit the bed. I don't have to constantly be stopping my refinement of sales and discovery and then going back into the funnel and then going back to this. Um, I don't want to be too proactive to where all I'm doing is funnel hacking and funnel stuff, but I also want to be a little bit up ahead of it just so that way I don't keep doing this stop and go kind of thing. Um, so, but yeah, I just want to share with you the numbers here, and Yeah, I got a sales call for tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes with Dr. Herkovitz. He's in Brooklyn, New York, so um,
How do
managing
you,
the time difference there. But we'll see if he comes through. He seemed pretty open to it. He just trying to do more implants, which I didn't tell him that's not our specialty. I just told him, we see our dentists like because I have other dentists that are running like implant services and stuff. So I just try to say like we've seen the kind of marketing scope of that and we help with that and whatever. So but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Discovery call tomorrow morning as well. So I'm gonna try my best to get like some like refined version of my script. Because I feel like my script's all right. Like you've seen it, like it probably needs some major refinement, but and I took a little bit of what Mason said so far and kind of did it as like a little band-aid patchwork stuff, just to kind of get it going for now. Um, just because when all this hit, it's like, oh damn, I don't have them. I stopped my script, finishing my script, so I can focus on fixing the acquisition funnel. And then now it's pumping again. And I'm like, oh shit, now I don't have the script ready for these discoveries. So,
can,
but
can you give me
yeah,
a
I just kind of patchworked it for now.
Can you give me a second here? 'Cause I want to ask Aman something really quick because I think he had a similar issue to you. Aman, are you there?
Yeah. What's up?
A quick question. Um, I remember when you launched your client acquisition funnel, I feel like we had a similar issue where like you ran it and it was getting great results and then it kind of died and then it's getting good results again. Was that the case or no?
Yeah, I did experience that. I think I was just duplicating the ad sets for the most part.
How like do you remember like so we launched it and then it worked for like a week or two and then it stopped working for like 2 weeks. Do you remember by any chance kind of wondering-
Let's see. Because I feel like I had for a while like a little funnel journal. Let's see, V1 launched, and then I think we're updating for like 2 months. I updated like the thank you page. But I don't think it. And then so September was running it, and then November was the next time I duplicated the ad set and changed it to $50 a day. Turned off broad targeting. And then November 30th, I duplicated again, brought it down to 25. Maybe it was like a schedule thing. And then December 5th, duplicated again. Um, and
essentially what I'm getting at is like I'm wondering how long did it take before it just started humming? That's my question. How long did it take before it just how long was it like bumpy till it finally like stabilized? That's kind of wondering because I'm wondering if the same thing will happen to Riviera.
um, I don't fully remember, but I feel like did my cost per lead ever go up that high? Um, I guess like an average sense. Yeah, because there was that one time I was getting $100 per lead in March. Um, let me see. Let me see if anything I have journal for March. So March, I just duplicated again. I think the thing was it was something with my pixel. I think I like took the pixel, I added like a pixel in and it like slowed it down. And then when I took it out again, it like worked. It was weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, but so that was maybe like a month of that.
Yeah. Okay. Um, thank you for that, Aman. Sorry, I know that was like super random out of the blue, but thank you for
Some
that.
more.
Back to the cave I go.
Um, So yeah, I mean, so the reason I just wanted to bring this up, Rivera, is like my fingers are crossed for you that it's going to be a similar situation where like, um, you're not. It was this is one of the few. I mean, it's interesting because like it happened to Aman, it happened to Jorge as well. Jorge will tell you like Jorge was running ads, was great, it was good, and then it shit the bed, and then we got working, and now it's like he's pretty much chilling. Wouldn't you like he's like pretty much chilling in terms of his results. So my feeling is that I think something similar might happen to you. That's my theory. My theory is that
For sure.
for
So
them we launch this one and then my fingers are crossed you're gonna be good and we're gonna be able to chill for some time. That's what I'd love for us to do is like just we need to have a
yeah.
seat just like Aman, just like everybody, we need to have a season for like 1 to 3 months. We're just focusing on sales, just drilling it, drilling it, drilling it to the point where you're tired of sales. But that's when you're
For sure. For sure.
okay.
Um, but yeah, it seems to be the same ad too. So I
Yeah.
think there's something there that triggers. I mean, to me, it's like if it's pumping at some, even if it dies, like at some point I was like, well, it pumped for so many people and they all kind of resonated with the same message. I'm sure there's other dentists with the same type of mindset that's gonna get the same trigger, you know.
It's not by chance. Like it's not by random. If what you're telling me, it's not random. So there's something on there. And sometimes it's just the algorithm fucks you. Sometimes the algorithm is just weird. And that's why I think it was free, and I think it'll be fine soon.
I'm just
So
glad they're real dentists because I know when we were first running the funnel for like a month or two, I think it was just we were getting leads. It was just a bunch of fakes. So I'm just happy it pumped again and it's actual some for the majority, some real dentists. So
do you feel like your discovery call was any different with this recent one, or do you feel like it's pretty much what it was in the past?
a little rusty, I'd say a little nervous, but I stuck to kind of just the same script, a little refined. I took some of Mason's messaging, like maybe don't say this so early on and things like that. I still need to really go and actually flesh out my discovery and sales to make it like how how I'm watching the sales mastery on something similar to his. But I would say it was just one lead I called from this whole thing or talked to. So he was kind of short with me. So it's like, it's like, oh, do you know like the lifetime value or like, a roundabout number? No. Oh, okay. Well, how about, instead of just saying, oh, you don't know your numbers or anything, I just go, oh, so let's say somebody comes in for their daily routine, like they come in every 6 months, so twice a year. What are they looking to spend on average? I don't know. I'm like, okay, he's just a little short. So, but that's personality type. I find there could be bubbly dentists. There's very short to the point dentists, and there's just like a very wide spectrum. I just got a really he's very old too, so I don't know if that has to do with it. But at the end, he kind of opened up a little more. He seemed to be talking a lot more. He talked more numbers. He wanted to triple like his implant cases and all that stuff. So I seemed to kind of get him to kind of be a little more rapport at the end. So and then that's when I kind of booked him for the sales for tomorrow. So I wanted to do the one call close just to test it, but I actually genuinely didn't have time because I had something else to take care of right after. But I did want to try the one call. But is that something you still think I should be striving for? Is try to do
I I definitely don't think, just based off of what I've seen so far, right? Like I don't think that that's like one call closes like advanced, right?
Mhm.
So I think we need to take some, just based off of like again what we ran into this past week, and that just
Mhm.
totally, you just have a lot to learn based off of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. And I feel that when I'm on these calls, it's like taking like a high advanced gym class where it's like the instructor is used to everybody being a master, so he's doing it at that pace, and I feel like I'm a little bit like stifling behind trying to keep up with the class.
It's not that, it's
I
just
feel
like
that sometimes.
everybody here, Aman and Mason and Jorge, they all went through a certain cycle, right? So they had to go through 6 figure and 6 week, and they had to go through certain coaching, they had to go through certain thing, and you kind of bypassed all that. And so I was just under the assumption like, oh, like I don't have to, but now we have to focus on the foundation.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I learned is we have to
Mhm,
focus on the foundation for you.
mhm,
That's where it's not that you can't keep up. We have to nail the foundation first before we focus on these other things. And so just you, like you telling me what you just told me, which is like, hey, asking lifetime value, asking this, that tells me I need to get your script, right? Because
mhm,
I'm not, as I'm listening to you, I'm not like sure if that's the best question you could be asking, which is like, hey, what's the lifetime?
mhm,
Why? Because we know with dentists, there is no issue with lifetime value.
mhm,
With dentists, there are no issues in terms of how much they charge because they charge enough that they're good.
mhm.
The issue with them is like, okay, what is the problem that they're solving for? I need to 3x this. I need to solve more of this. Okay, got it. I
Yeah,
got shit, the marketing issue. They need to get
yeah,
more people.
yeah, I feel like the questions can be redundant too, just like it's not pertinent to like
It's not
their
pertinent.
exact business.
We don't need to worry about lifetime value for this specific type of business. It's
Mhm,
high. We need to say is like, okay, I saw you clicked on an ad. The opening hook was, for example, what would you say to other? Do you remember seeing that ad? Yeah. Was there something that triggered you regarding that ad or anything within that video that made you want to book this call? What is it that you're looking for? See that, like, that's a very different kind of question for this kind of funnel, I think. Um,
mhm.
so we need to revamp that, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. And I do kind of start with that, the kind of part you just said, like in the beginning, and then I'll get to like that question, the LTV. But for sure, there's some questions like, yeah, the LTV is probably a little redundant, just because, yeah, they just need more people filling the chairs for the service they want to sell. So,
You could ask how many more clients can you take on right now as well. Because that puts you in a nice
Mhm.
position of power of like, hey, I can fill your clinic up. I just need to know how many spots that you can take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Because
So
dentists like to always say they're super busy, but I feel like there's a lot of times there's like I found out another dentist like on a Discovery, they have 5 rooms available and they're always, they're always busy, but they only have enough work to fill 3 rooms. And if they were to finally fill those other 2 rooms at all times, all 5 rooms, they would just hire on more associate dentists, which is kind of like their second shooter in in terms of video. Like they have second shooters, right? They have associate dentists that come from other, they don't really have a practice. So a lot of dentists you'll find they'll say they're busy, but they always have room to expand, to hire on, to contract labor. Um, so I think, that is a good question. Thanks. I'll have to note that down, Mason.
yeah. So yeah, man, let's go into this. Let's have some fun tomorrow. Let's be aggressive. Right? Let's be aggressive towards the tail end. Let's get that deposit, get that close. Let's push for it. It's okay to be a little bit more aggressive, I think.
For sure. For
Um,
sure. And I've been through the runaround with these dentists, so I feel like just
yeah,
being to the point is a little bit more needed right now for sure.
that's something I've kind of noticed on multiple occasions with these dentists, that they run around and constantly chasing people down and all this stuff. So
I was like,
um,
I've never been run around as much as the last one though. She definitely makes it seem like her foot's on the gas, but then she'll just the moment she needs to twist the ignition.
um,
That's probably something in my end that I could have put more certainty into probably the demo for sure, but which I did. I showed her, numbers and stuff, but maybe there's a certain way I have to say it with conviction and tonality. Maybe there's like another level that maybe I'm just missing, or I think that's a lot where I have to really, like you said, just get my discovery and sales script to you so that way we can do call reveals. And I feel like you're going to be able to be like, oh, pinpoint, like, okay, this is something I notice you keep saying. And and we've talked about it before, Koshik, but I used to do pickup and stuff, and I had a dating coach, and he'd watch me in field. They'd film me with a little cell phone and have me talk to girls, and he'd literally come and extract the audio. He's like, you keep making this weird twitch when you say something about you ask for the number. You kind of look away. You look to the left a lot. Girls are gonna pick up on that, and subtleties and stuff, and that you can't even know until somebody reviews you. So I feel like that's where I need to be, is just knock out this last sales video and get that over to you so I can start showing you me in the trenches here.
that's all it is, man. Like that's exactly what it is going to be. It's going to be that for like the next like 1 to 3 months. It's just like doing a bunch of those, and then we'll be good. But it's not gonna be perfect, right? It's not gonna be perfect. Just like I like to just kind of give people one big thing to focus on for every single call to progress them. And from the last one to this one, the big thing is aim to close, whether it's off-putting or whatever. Just don't let like, hey, I'll send you a contract, da, da, da. It's, hey, you need something right here, right now on the call. That's the big kind of shift. I want you to focus on that. The other thing to focus on is like making it really believable. And I already went over this with you, just a reminder, like not just saying like, hey, here are results, whatever, like really talk about the doctor, Lisa, or whatever her name was. But like, hey, this is specifically what happened. I remember a situation was like this with you. Here's some psychological things I do. I will literally, I'm on a Zoom call, I'll pull up a conversation and be like, do you see this thing that this, I remember it was so funny. I'm not doing it to show that. I'm showing it just so that they fucking believe like, hey, I actually have a dentist client. Like that's why I'm
Yeah,
actually subconsciously planting those seeds.
yeah,
Stuff like that. And again, it takes a lot of reps, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. So
yeah.
those are the few things I can kind of give you for your call tomorrow. Focus on those
Mm-hmm.
things. And
For sure. Should I lead with a video as a differentiator? I feel like sometimes, like you've said before, it's like sometimes I get stuck in the video old world way of thinking, and sometimes I don't know, F's with my head on like how
video has,
I'm actually selling the product and stuff.
I don't know that I was gonna punch you in the chin that when you told me about the 997 versus the video. I'm like, no, we're nothing has nothing to do with video.
For
No,
sure,
video will not differentiate. I promise you, it will not differentiate in this world. It has nothing to do
for
with
sure.
video.
So it should be just like a one standard package, no tier pricing, or just
There's
one standard that comes with the bells and whistles, essentially.
your 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 packages depend not on what you do, but the speed that they get results and the amount of work that they have to do. So whether you do photos or videos does not impact their speed, and it does not impact how hard they have to work. So why would they care? They don't care. Right? It only has to do with like, oh, so why would you charge more? You would charge more if you do more of a done for you versus a done with you. Do you follow up the leads? Do you call the leads? Do you handle that? Or do you just pass the leads off to them? Now you're taking on more work. And so therefore you should be able to charge more. So that's how you have to view it. Always like take video out. Stop thinking about video.
Burn it. Burn it.
You don't know how to use a camera anymore. ISO, what is that? We don't know what that is. So so yeah, you should be just doing it as like a one-time versus a monthly payment plan. Say, hey, look, the price of the program, I'm going to give it to you. This is for 3 months. That's what we recommend that we start, because that's really what it takes for us to get results for everybody. So I'm going to go and price that for you. This is the 3-month price, and here's what it is. I literally go over that within my script. If you watch I go over how I position it. This is the price point, and so the total amount is this. Or if you wanted to do 3 months in advance, we'd give you a X% discount, which is X dollars off, which would take the total down to a one-time payment of X. Did you prefer the month to month, or did you want to do a prepay today?
And do you mention the month to month first or the prepay first, or does that matter?
It matters. Like everything I said matters so much. Like you have to get it to a T. So if you come in here, and because it's important, I'm not skipping over. I know that I record this so many times, I'm not going to miss the detail in here. So awesome. It just gives them so much like calmness and clarity. You know, on the same page. Specifically before I get the price, Johnny says no. Okay, Johnny, so I'm about to go over the price. Before I do, just really important you have something to take notes on. Yeah. Okay, great. So here's the price. So literally everything I'm saying here matters. Like everything, which is like, hey, Johnny, do you have a price? Man, before I do, just really specifically before I get into the price, Johnny says no. Okay, Johnny, so I'm about to go over the price. Before I do, just really important you have something to take notes on. Yeah. Okay, great. So in terms of the price, man, right? So I literally like do all that stuff is by design. We're at the price, attention, their body language. No. Okay. So in terms of price, you got something to take notes on? Johnny says, yeah. Okay, Johnny. So this is very important. All this stuff is important. So I'm taking too long to go through it, but watch it and you'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this part right here, 123.10 tells you exactly how to position it. Just do that. Nothing else. Just do that. And you screw it up, I promise.
Sure.
I do it you gotta do it exactly that way.
Cool.
What else you got for us, Daniel?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I'll just keep you up to date on the funnel and stuff. But yeah, I think my main pivot will just be refining my discovery and sales stuff. So I have some stuff to show you on that. And yeah, just going through the fire here.
Cool. Good stuff, man. I'm glad. Like I was sweating bullets for a while with the ad. So I'm glad things are working there. And I know that's just a matter of time that we figure the rest of this out, assuming the ads keep delivering. But yeah, keep me posted about tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I think that's pretty much everybody. MJ.
Hello, good evening.
Where are you at, MJ? There he is. What's going on, man?
Doing okay. Hanging in there, I guess, for the most part. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm living the dream. Just hanging out, surviving.
Okay. Alrighty.
So
Okay.
I think so. Aman told me that he had a conversation with you in terms of
Yeah.
onboarding. So we can talk about this if you'd like, but I think you're good. I'll update your numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, one by one. I mean, what did you want to go over at this point? Considering, I know we got to talk about like some of that stuff that you want to talk about. I'm glad Aman's here as well. Maybe help you with that, kind of give you his perspective. But what all did you want to go over, MJ?
Okay, yeah, most of the things that I had in there, I think I had with my discussion with Aman today. So I was kind of like just working on tweaking on the contract for my end to send over. So I sent them an email already just this evening. So we'll see where that goes for tomorrow and stuff. Aside from that, it's just, everything else based on what we've been kind of like chatting back and forth in the DMs, around like what I do, where I should be at, and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Did you and Aman talk by any chance in terms of like the 9 to 5 and kind of where you're at? Because I know he's kind of dealing with some stuff as well, or is that not something you guys spoke about?
No, we didn't dive into that aspect of things. Yeah, so like, for me, like it was what I said to you earlier. I can quit today if I'm being honest. Like, I mean, of course, like I probably have to save up a little bit, your boy is racking up some debts, but I can save up a little bit and then quit. It shouldn't take that long. Because I think probably time is most valuable to me. And I could potentially definitely see this, working out, and at the end of the day, being able to focus that time into here would be great. But yeah, just the way that the permanent residency is set up, I am processing that. So I can't leave, at least not till 2 years after. Um, so that is my biggest challenge in my mind. It's just like, okay, this is where the rubber meets the road, in terms of, taking on clients. And of course, when I also met you at the start of things with what I was also taking on with, the church and stuff. So I'm just looking at my schedule, looking at my week and looking at the time, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if I can actually, handle this amount of people or that kind of stuff. I mean, of course, I'm probably like overestimating or thinking what's not here yet. But part of me is, looking at what I feel like it takes to, being excellent, at doing this. And I just feel like I maybe I'm not, because of everything that's happening, not being able to give as much time and as much attention as I need to, to making sure that maybe like I'm reviewing my calls, reviewing my sales call, looking at everything I can be optimizing within the amount of time that I need to be able to do that, understand my numbers with Facebook, or, just drill down into this, like really hone in and take things away, build things as I would need to. I feel like I'm just surviving. It's like I'm just like, okay, there's a call today, I do it, and I move on. Like I really have not been able to deep dive as I would love to be able to be excellent, at doing what I need to do here, right? So that's a bit of my struggle, right? So that's kind of like what I'm processing for the most part. Yeah. So
What do you think, like, what do you think the solution is, and why do you think that is the solution?
the only solution that I thought about was, okay, so I had two commitments tied to, the time span with, of course, with work. I probably can't quit right now. I still have a year contract with whatever I'm doing with the church at the moment. So the only solution that I could process through it in my mind was maybe I just focus on maybe closing one or two people and bridging that gap with service delivery and honing that and learning as much as I can with that. And the only reason why I thought that's a solution is just, again, just coming back to the time factor of like, okay, I probably can't handle 3 or 4 or what have you, right? And then just using the remainder of the 3 months that I have to really hone in my understanding as to what's left with, bridging that gap between, service delivery and the like sales and also like, doing service delivery as well. So that was the decision I thought about, but again, just coming back to time for the most part.
Is it possible to, because you're saying that the bottleneck is, hey, I have to stay here for at least 2 years because of this other thing that I have going on for my permanent residency. I have to stay here to get the permanent residency for my job. They need me to stay for 2 years. So my question to you is, do you have to stay full-time at your job? Is that part of the requirement?
Good question. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Okay. So that's one thing to look at. That's one big lever you can pull on. Why, and this is me just asking just from getting educated just to learn more about this, but like,
Yeah.
why is that like a requirement? Is this like a travel visa kind of ordeal where like this is the rule? Like you get a job at a company and you do a 2-year contract and then we'll give you a permanent residence. Like, can you just educate me a little bit more on like how that all works?
Yeah, I'll try my best. You know, I promise this is the way that I operate. And I know that it sucks because my parents hate me for it. My friends and family hate me for it. I literally just know what I need to know to get the stuff done. Everything else in terms of like what it actually is, I don't educate yeah, so I'm really horrible at that. But so as I know it, as I can best describe it, there are multiple paths to getting your permanent residency, you know, in Canada. So one of those is either doing a provincial nomination, is what they have, or, you know, an express entry route. So with the provincial nomination part, you kind of like have to gather a bunch of points, right? You have to kind of get a bunch of points, to be able to qualify you for provincial nomination. One of those points is, you know, like you have worked in a company for about a year and things like that. So I worked for my company for about a year. And so I was able to use them because when they are wanting to give you your provincial nomination, you're able to use the company that you worked with and apply for it. So I used my company and I was able to apply for the provincial nomination. And so I got the nomination for my province, which is, I'm in Saskatchewan, right? So I got that. So now that I have that, I have to process the permanent residency application, right? So now I have that, I use that and I, you know, do the application. So once I apply and they give me the approval, they will have some terms. They'll have some terms as to, okay, here is here's what you need to do now, you know, get your PR and things like that. And part of that would be a contract, like a time with the company I'm at. And I think it's full-time. I think it's full-time, but they will tie you to the company that you used to apply with your nomination for it. So you have to, you know, meet that criteria with them, and then they give you the permanent residency. That's as much as I understand it, right? So every other, you know, little detail I probably don't know. But yeah.
I learn as much as I need to so I can make room for other things. Yes.
Yeah.
So if I were in your position, what I would probably do, actually, before even getting into any kind of solution, okay, so we talked about what the issue is. We talked about not necessarily the solution. Actually, we did talk about what you think the solution is, which is 1 or 2 clients a month. I was going to ask you something else. Okay, we spoke about potentially this being like a mental block for you, or there being some kind of a mental block or something. And you said, Kaushik, I think that, you know, you might be onto something. Maybe that's why I've been getting stressed all of a sudden. I wasn't stressed before, but now I'm getting extra stressed. What do you think is maybe causing this mental block? What do you think is not this mental block? Maybe that's not the best word, but what do you think is causing this sudden state of arousal for you?
Right. So that piece on what's stressing me, like the fact that I was feeling stressed, was just mostly, like you said, like definitely part of it, getting to the place of, you know, some kind of success, right? So getting to a new phase, which is all around the service delivery. And I kind of like spoke about this with Aman too, because I let him know how I was feeling, which was just like that whole technical side of things, like being able to, you know, either set up like go high level accounts, just making sure that the ad accounts and everything in terms of the funnel is built correctly, and, you know, making sure that hopefully some kind of results are coming in for the clients and things like that. At least that piece, I feel like once the whole technical side is sort of like done, I think I'll be good to go in just like the way that I think, and just like, you know, doing the work and do what's necessary and what's required. So I don't think I would have too much of an issue there. But I got hung up in, you know, when I think about my first video project, right? So this kind of when I was running my parallels, and like I wasn't this nervous trying to do my first video project, right? So I'm like, I feel so much nervous, like looking like a fool, not like something breaking down, something not happening, right? And then you're just like, you know, like hopefully that everything goes smoothly, right? But it's like if something goes up, I don't know what I'm doing, like, you know. And I wanted to say thank you actually for even the last time when we were talking about onboarding the previous client, right? And you had me do that. So thank you for actually, you know, making me do that. At least that I had that experience, that I was able to do that, right? So part of me is like, yeah, so I'm grateful that I got that in my belt, even though it's just one. It's not a lot, but at least it's something, it's something. And I could be able to use a bit of that experience to try and do this one, even though I still don't know what this looks like, what could mess up and all that stuff, but at least I got that under my belt. So I appreciate that you helped me do that. And I know that the last thing that you told me in the last call was trying to make sure that I do my best to settle the technical stuff on the call too, because of what, happened with this other person too. So I have to prep for that. Like I have to, make sure that I cross my I's, dot my T's. And I think that's most potentially like my stressed out hurdle, just making sure that and I'm sure if I do it once, I feel like I'll be okay. But yeah, I think that's probably the most thing that's stressing me out in terms of, what you asked me. Then other parts of it would just be like, I'm trying to take it like one step at a time so I don't overwhelm myself. So I did the contract today. I'll, prep the onboarding tomorrow and, just take it one step at a time so that I can at least hit milestones and maybe it's easier to just cross as I go, right? But yeah, that's just the overwhelm of thinking about it and making sure that like, okay, hopefully I do this right. I can actually make this work. It's a work for me. I think I watched that Alex Hormozi's video as to like you working for other people, not working for you and stuff like that, right? So anyways, so that's that. That's that.
So the question was like, what is causing the sudden arousal, right? So if we were to just like in one simple sentence, like, can you answer that for me in one sentence?
It would be the technical setup.
Okay. It is, hey, as I've gotten closer and closer, I wasn't even thinking so much about like technically getting them results, but now that I'm here, like, oh God, there's this whole other thing I have to focus on. There's a whole other thing I have to learn. And that's stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you feel? So that stress level, let's say that was like here. How do you feel after a conversation with Aman? Like, let's say it was a 10. Where do you feel?
The 10, I feel like it's 6 now. I feel like it's 6 now. Because it's mostly it's mostly like, so this is why I guess ultimately I feel again it all comes back to time. It all comes back to time. Because if I knew I had 8 hours in my day, right? Like I look at my calendar, I look at my schedule, I'm like, okay, this is booked out, this is all that kind of stuff. And then, for example, now I've sent out this email. They were looking to onboard on Wednesday, right? So I'm looking at tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm like, okay, shit, 8 hours of work. I have a few appointments. Sorry, I literally just got a message that they read the contract and I forgot to include the guarantee.
Say like, hey, where's the guarantee?
Yep. It's like I forgot to include the guarantee of 15 whatever. Yeah, I forgot to include the guarantee. So okay. Anyways, I'll look at that. So anyway, so it being
just really quick. What is the worst thing that just happened right now?
The worst thing that just happened right now?
What is the worst thing that just happened right now?
That I didn't include something.
Something, it stopped you in your tracks. You mentioned it to us, and we're all laughing about it. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
So you'll fix it. You'll send it back, and it'll be okay, won't it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It will go. Yeah, you'll be okay. It'll be okay.
So as I say that, do you understand the point that I'm trying to make here with that?
That everything is figure outable. Like have you just, fixed for the most part. Yeah.
Question I can simply just ask you is, what is the worst that can happen from all of this?
I do a shitty job and they move on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the reason you feel this level of uncertainty and anxious and all that stuff is because the same thing that will happen now is the same thing that will happen if you had screwed up something on your video shoot. The thing is, this is just a much less unfamiliar territory for you. Whereas if you screw up something with lighting, if you screw something up because you are more familiar with that environment, you have an idea of, okay, if I screw this up, it's going to cost me 10 minutes on set. Cost me an hour in post-production versus this, you're like, if I mess this up, I don't know how long it's going to cost me. And you're already like sitting there, like thinking about your time and energy being limited. That's what's causing a lot of the anxiety. In my experience, that's what anxiety and all this stuff is like a lack of not knowing. That is ultimately it. Your arousal is just a lack of not knowing. And you went from a 10 down to 6. Why? Because you just know more now, if you fundamentally think about it. And so what does that mean? That ultimately means that you must simply do. The more you do, the more you will have an idea of what to expect, and your arousal will go down, and that is it. And the worst case of what happens is we laugh and joke about something and you fix it. And worst case scenario, they move on. Just like one of Aman's clients today moved on. I don't know if you were here and heard that part. One of Aman's clients moved on, and that's the worst that happened. And he's not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it. We're not going to talk about it because it's not that serious. Does this help at all, or no, not really? It doesn't get rid of the anxiety, does it?
It's helping. I know I just have to do it at the end of the day. Yeah, I just have to find time and do it. So
In
yeah.
my experience, here's what happens is when you are backed up against the wall, and I think you know this because you seem like the type of person that's not gonna, you've been backed up into a corner multiple times. You've had to figure things out. And that's all it is like every time I'm backed up into a corner, it forces me to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think when you say you don't have the solution to time, I think you will figure it out. So for example, you're taking the leads, you're calling the leads, you're following up with them, and you realize, I just can't make this happen. I can't do this. What will happen is you're going to be between a rock and a hard place, and you're going to go out there and train a setter to handle all the leads. You're going to figure it out because it will be too painful for you. And then, yeah, that's what I think. And I think that sticking to 1 to 2 clients a month, I think that is the solution. The other solution that I think the other thing that I think it is for you to go into your 9 to 5 and meet with whoever it is that is directly above you or who handles pay and start to have conversations, see if you can negotiate stuff. So for example, I don't know if you're on per hour or salary.
Salary.
So if there's a way for you to kind of modify things to get your time back where you let them know, hey, money is not the most important thing to you. Because if you truly believe that this agency is your ticket to making the most dollars per unit time and all this stuff, well, then what you can do is you can start getting your time back from your 9 to 5. You can start negotiating some kind of deal where they don't necessarily, it doesn't matter to them. If they can save more money, they happily save more money. But all you care about is your 2 years so that you can get your PR.
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of things I would be doing if I were in your position.
Yeah. I'll have to figure out if whether like the PR still works like for full-time or part-time. And then that would start my conversation around when I could start doing the part-time piece of things and getting that time back. Because that'll probably be the smarter way to do it. Like, yeah, that'll be the smarter way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I feel like the biggest levers you can pull is at your 9 to 5. That's where the biggest levers are. It's not going to be at the agency, and it's not going to be from church. It's going to be your 9 to 5.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just draining for the most part, like especially when sometimes like there's not a lot happening, but you just kind of have to pretend that you're working. I'm like, I could be using this time to do something else. You know what I mean? Like there's so much time here that could be invested into something else. I mean, I wish companies could just be smart and just be like, yeah, do whatever you want to do when there's a fire, put it out. You know what I mean? Like it's like why do we have, anyways, it is what it is. But yes, that's the biggest leverage I can have, because I think that's what sucks the most time. And not just the most time, it's just like sometimes most unproductive work, but you kind of just have to save face. Right.
I think you need to position it at your 9 to 5 in which you are focused on not doing the least amount of work, but rather being as highly leveraged as possible where you become the best utility, best value for them. You have to position it that way. Then you might get more of an idea of like, you might better get what you want, which is literally what you're saying right now. Like, hey, why don't companies do this? Is there a way you can eloquently say this and get them to actually give you that? Is there a way for that? Those are the kinds of things that you want to focus on, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll have to think about it. I mean, I don't even know because at the end of the day, it's like it's IT support, right? When things don't break all the time, when they break, they can break all at once, right? So yeah, it's definitely worth the conversation. Or unless I somehow shift my role.
I was
You know,
just gonna say,
that's also a conversation. Maybe I end up becoming some sort of business analyst for them because that's kind of like what I'm doing for my church right now, right? Where I take a look at their systems, what's broken, and they lot. I mean, I've already kind of started having this conversation with my boss. A lot of things are broken with the onboard people, things that just could be better. And they are, more older, elderly people that aren't implementing technology in the way that they should be, just be helping, a lot of the onboarding process and people getting how the company works. Because a lot of times there's just so much friction, like 10 different people do things 10 different ways. Right. It's like what's the one way that you want people to be able to use the software and train the next person and be able to succeed the other person. And it's not like every time someone is coming in, they literally don't know where the other person left off from. So there's a succession problem and many other things there. And I could fix that. I could probably, it's just I don't want, like I don't want to take it. Like I'm fine doing the least amount of work right now, but it could be more valuable to them if I like, start pushing the stakeholders and be like, hey guys, like this is what we should be doing. And maybe somehow that start helping me shift my role. And I'm no longer IT support, but I'm a business analyst. I don't know. But I've thought about that, right? I've thought about that. Yeah.
is there, I guess, like, what else is brewing in your mind in terms of uncertainty, doubt that it's like, hey, like, I think I already know the answer, but like, why don't I put this out into the ether and just kind of hear what, the guys are saying? Is there something else that's like that for you that you want to share and we can kind of give you our perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's nothing else that I can think about. I think we've gone through the solution that I think it's at least as in terms of plan A or like a plan A kind of solution with the number of clients I can handle a month, me figuring out if I can do it part-time. Like those are all possible solutions to just get back time because I think ultimately what I'm worried about is time. I'm not worried about, yeah, I know I don't have enough reps, right? I know I've not like done this enough. I know I've not, whatever, but at the end of the day, like if I can, I just want to be excellent at whatever I'm doing, right? At the end of the day, if I know I can pour the amount of time that's required to do the thing, I'll do it, right? I mean, that is the reason why I still ended up like trying to re-up when you sent the video, because I just felt like, of course, like if I said, yeah, okay, cool, I'm going, I know I would stop, like for sure. There's no reason, there's no reason that I have to continue, right? There's literally no reason. I'll probably look at men that was like 10,000, well spent, and like now I'm bleeding. Let's go figure out a way to to recoup that, right? And that's what I do. And I'll be okay. But I re-up because I felt like keeping the pressure on would continue, right? I mean, that's kind of like what we talked about with me. I just feel if I'm trying to have it easier in relation to just like being less on my plate completely, I just need the right amount of stress, just the right amount of stress to be able to perform. And I feel like I am kind of like there, like already there, where just a little bit more and I'll break, So
You're strong.
yeah, so that's all I got. Like I don't, there's nothing else stopping me than just like, okay, I just need to be able to shift things around, find time, and I'll try and figure everything else out, essentially, right? So that's it. That's it.
I think, yeah. I don't even think like you need to focus a crazy amount on service delivery. I think you can take the next 5 clients and go through a phase similar to what Aman went through, which is just testing stuff out and just kind of seeing what works and doesn't work. And it's not gonna be until your 5th, 6th, 10th client, which is like where Aman's at, where you need to really get a little bit more strategic with service delivery. I think in your particular case, you should just take on what you can take on. Just take on what you can take on. Take on 1 or 2 clients. I feel like a broken record at this point. So that's all it is. Just take on 1 to 2 clients. Understand that you have to go through this. You have no choice but to go through this. This is what you signed up for. So, you know, the what we are doing here is like the vegetables that must stay on your plate that you must eat. You must do it for your health.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that's brewing your mind, MJ? Any advice that you have, Mason or Aman, for MJ?
Let's see. Did. Oh, I did have a question, one more, because I was just I'm looking at my notes here. So what did you say you do when somebody asks for a contract on the call? Like, how would you deflect that or handle that?
I don't actually get asked that often.
Okay.
Like, so it's the question that you're asking is like, the question you should be asking instead is like, how do I prevent that from happening?
Yeah.
And so the way you prevent that from happening is just, again, just having a really dialed in sales process and just a lot of conviction to the point where they don't even need to ask for that. The only reason people ask for a contract is why? Uncertainty, doubt. That's it. When people are certain doubt, they don't even think that. Like, I don't know about you, I cannot read your mind, but I'm willing to bet that when we were going through our entire journey, not one time where you're like, wait, I need a contract first. You're probably just like, okay, I'm wondering what Kushik is going to say next. I'm wondering what is next. I want to see what happens next. That's most likely what was brewing your head. So if you can create that pace with people of like, hey, here, I want them to think what is next and for me to guide them to the point where they are not even questioning it. And it's easier to say that than to do it. The only way to do it is for you to do multiple reps and start picking up on patterns of like what people say, what people do, where they start getting a little bit uncomfortable. So you can kind of patch that up.
Yep. That makes sense.
If you were to say, how do I deflect it? If I were to give you an answer, I'd just say, happy to share that with you. If that's what you're looking for. Is there anything else? That's an option you can test out. Another option is, great, yeah, I'm happy to share that with you. And then you like start sharing your screen. So can you see my screen? So I'm going to pull it up for you just really quick. You know, and this is something I can send over your way. As I do this, is there something else that you had questions about? Is there something very specific that you're looking for? And then as you show them, you're literally showing your screen and you're showing the screen, showing the contract. And then now this itch has been scratched, and then hopefully their mind goes off of it. And then you can take them back to the conversation, kind of really figure out their uncertainty, doubt stuff. Because whether you have the contract or not is not going to solve the problem. It's not going to solve the problem. Usually. Every single time I've had somebody sign a contract, actually, you know, it's literally been one person my whole life. Literally one. The funny thing is when I sent the contract over, he was like, you know what, there's not enough time to read this whole thing, so just let's go and move forward. That's literally what happened.
Yeah, I should have made mine long. I kind of like shortened it to like 2. I should have made like 10 pages long. I made like 10 pages long. Like, it's not, you know. One thing though that I found really, I've had, you know, a few inquiries, you know, media production wise. I probably have a few shoots coming up. But one of them that I spoke to a client, one very interesting turn of events is just selling people locally is like a piece of cake. It's like the level of buyer sophistication with people now coming into the door for a video production. It's so flipping it. Like they have no. So that was my very first time just taking everything that I've learned up until this point of the journey and flipping on its head. I just started thinking about like, why wasn't I doing this a lot? I found it so difficult to close. I had a student, somebody wanted the video portrait and all of that, and I'm just like, just selling them, and I gave them the price, and they're way above my budget. They did not even consider how much they wanted to do it, but they were completely sold on the process. And you know, it's funny when they said to me that apart from the price, I'm good to go. I love what I see. I was like, that's exactly what Kushik would say. Like there was no uncertainty in their mind that I do that. And all I did, literally the only thing that sold it was, and I never used to do this before when I was doing the video production, I just opened up what I knew that was different from me from anybody else, was the project management software. I'm just like, okay, here's what we do. We break it down into phases, and you get to approve, we work collaboratively, going to all of that. Any questions, things like that. And they're just enjoying that. And one thing I thought about it after. I'm like, I could have done this even more. And I probably would have asked them, DaVinci Resolve? They say no. Like, oh, is the Hollywood industry standard. So this is where I'll open it up. I'll open up a project that looks like massive, with a lot of layers. I'll just be like, this is where you bring your project into it, and with color grading, I'll show you color grading process and all that, just to kill any kind of like, I just tell them completely off. But the project management software did wonders. I'm like, wow, this is so much easier. Yeah, the game is different locally for sure. For sure.
Tony and Adam said that last night. Like, they said, whatever video product they have, they're charging like 10 times more for them now. Like literally 10 times more. So it's the same project, but they're charging 10 times more. Just switching up the way they're doing their sales. So I'm not surprised at all when you say that.
That's really, yeah.
So what else? What else can we do on our therapy session today?
Not much. I'm good. I don't know if anybody knows if there's a way to stop Go High Level from sending a message when you hit enter. I usually try to just hit enter to create a new line. And sometimes I completely forget that enter is send. And I'm trying to compose the message. I'm trying to compose the message, and I'm not, I'm trying to put my thoughts out. And I'll just mistakenly hit enter to hit a new line, and an incomplete message I'm like, oh.
Is this on a desktop or like on your mobile?
On a desktop. On the desktop.
I got this trick from Aman. What is it? Aman, it's shift enter.
Yeah, shift enter. Yeah, it's just to remember it. To remember that it's shift enter. I'm like, can I swap it? Can I swap send to be shift enter and enter to actually be a new line? Because I can't count the number of times I've actually, like, I think maybe 2-3 clients. And I'm literally like, the part that is really bad is because I'm copying my template from where I have the message on before. And I'm like, shit. Then I have to like resend, like, this is what I meant to say. I'm sorry for the anyways. But yeah, I'm good. I don't have much else. If I do, I'll probably like text the group or whatnot. Go from there.
So guys, I think that's a wrap. I think that's everything for everyone's questions. Anybody else have anything else that they want to go over? Riviera, Mason, Aman. Okay, cool. If that is everything, we will see you guys here next week.